Story begins on a stormy day inside the ancient castle. Countless corpses lay piled on the ground. Fresh blood was splattered all over the path. A young woman held a knife, still dripping with blood, as she stepped out and called, "Qi Fenage, you're still truly formidable." Nearby, a young man stood atop the pile of bodies, a sword in his hand. He was breathing heavily as he responded, "I managed to make it through the ruins of the ancient mechanical god, but that divine weapon has already taken the eye of judgment." Covered in wounds, he began coughing weakly. "Why did you betray me?" His voice turned bitter. "I am your brother Tianozu." Tianozu stared at the eye in his hand, then at Quen Feng, letting out a cold laugh. His expression was icy, filled with doubt. "Brother, Quen Feng, you're just my parents' adopted son. We don't even share the same blood. How dare you call yourself my brother?" At that moment, another young man appeared behind her, smiling as he spoke. "Xiao Su, you shouldn't say such things." Recognizing the familiar voice, Xiao Su quickly turned around in excitement. Sanfei smiled in satisfaction before adding, "Well, your brother hasn't been entirely useless after all." Xiao Su ran happily towards Sanfei, handing him Quen Fengji's eye. With one arm around Xiao Su, Sanfei played with Quen Fengji's eye in the other hand, enjoying his trophy as he arrogantly said, "Quen Fengji, I really should thank you. Thanks to you and Xiao Su, we obtained this divine weapon, a relic capable of instantly extracting the lifespan of any being." He chuckled. "It took me a lot of effort to insert the soul piercer blade into your body. Tell me, do you like my parting gift?" Blood continued to flow endlessly from Quen Fen's face. Clenching his teeth in rage, he spoke each word in pain. "Tianosu, I raised you in our parents' name. I paid for your education and risked my life countless times for you. I sacrificed everything, but now I see I made a terrible mistake." Tianosu listened to those words without showing the slightest emotion and coldly responded, "After our parents died, you always tried to control my life, interfering in everything I did. When Sanfei and I needed protection, you were somewhat useful, but now that the divine relic is in our hands, you have no value left." The moment he finished speaking, Sanfei, without mercy, swung his sword and lunged. "I'll take good care of Xiao Su for you." The Quen Fengji's trembling hand tightened around his sword. Using the last of his strength, he raised his weapon and roared in fury, "Even if I die, I will never forgive you." Before he could say another word, Sanfei's sword struck, decapitating him in a single slash. The Divine Judgment. Time moved forward, and in the year 2025, a game called Divine Judgment appeared. Anyone who fell asleep was dragged into its world. The only currency in the game was life itself. If you died, you lost years of your lifespan. If you killed monsters, you could gain additional years. Additionally, players could sacrifice part of their longevity to bring abilities from the game into the real world. In this new world order, a true warrior could tear apart a tank with their bare hands, slice an airplane in half with a single strike, or even withstand a nuclear explosion with their body. What once was only a dream had now become reality. From then on, the world changed drastically, and chaos spread. I managed to survive alongside my sister, overcoming countless hardships, until I became one of the 100 strongest warriors in the world. After endless battles and dangers, I finally made it through the ruins of the ancient city and obtained the divine relic, the Eye of Judgment. At last, I had the power to climb to the top. But I never imagined I would be betrayed by the one person I had trusted my entire life. Everything I had sacrificed, everything I had lost, had only served for the benefit of others. I refused to accept this. If there were a chance to return to life this time, I would live only for myself. Everything felt like a dream. Quen Feng awoke in a new body. He opened his eyes and looked around in surprise. "Where am I? Is this the real world?" He hurried to grab the phone next to him, and as he touched his neck, a chill of disbelief ran through him. Wasn't he supposed to be dead? 25, I've gone back in time. He had returned to a year before the launch of Divine Judgment. Just then, the door was kicked open, and Tianosu stormed in, furious. "I knew you were home, Quen Feng. Why the hell aren't you answering my calls?" She barged into the room, destroying everything in her path while cursing him. "Weren't you supposed to support me at Sanfei's event? Are you trying to disappear from my life? Do you have any idea how important this is to me?" Sanfei is facing a crisis. Those bastards from Donu and his group are starting to invade his territory. I had to be there for him, but those obsessive fans and that wretched Rongso, they're disgusting, clinging to him like parasites. And while he's in crisis, you're here, stopping me from helping him, taking my money and blocking my progress in the rankings. You've made me look like a loser. You need to take responsibility for this. Ignoring her hysterical screams, Quen fell into deep thought, recalling what had happened in his previous life. As he had predicted on the launch day of Divine Judgment, he and Tianosu had a huge fight because of Sanfei. Before the game was released, Sanfei had been an underground idol with a certain level of popularity. Tianosu was one of his most obsessed fans. However, behind his dazzling facade, Sanfei was actually a scumbag who deceived and manipulated his female followers, scamming them out of their money and even taking advantage of them physically. To protect Tianosu from falling into his traps, Quen Feng had never let her get too close to him, but in the end, he was accused of interfering in her life. Seeing that Quen Feng remained silent, Tianosu stepped even closer, pointing a finger at him and shouting, "Are you dead or what? I'm talking to you. Now you're pretending to be deaf. Because of you, he dropped in this month's rankings. If you don't give me money right now, I..." Before Tianosu could finish her sentence, Quen Feng didn't hesitate for even a second. He slapped her so hard that she fell to the floor, unable to react. Dazed with her face burning, Tianosu trembled in fear as she clutched her cheek. You dare to hit me." Quen Feng looked at her coldly and responded in a severe tone, "Tianosu, I don't have the time or patience to waste on you today. But if you dare provoke me again, I'll break your mouth with another slap." With that, he pulled out a bank card and tossed it at her feet. "This is the money our parents left us. No matter how hard life was, I never touched a single coin of it, but today I'm giving it all to you." Without saying another word, he turned and walked toward his room. Before entering, he paused, glancing at her one last time with utter contempt. "Out of respect for our parents, I won't lower myself to arguing with you, but listen carefully from this moment on. Qin Fenji no longer has a sister like you." With those words, he slammed the door shut, leaving Tianosu sitting on the floor, crying with tears streaming down her face. Inside his room, Qin Fen took a sip of water. His eyes reflected an unshakable determination. "In my past life, I sacrificed too many opportunities just to protect Tianosu. There were countless dungeons and hidden treasures that required great risks, but I let them pass." He took a few vision-enhancing pills and swallowed them in one gulp. "I wonder, without that burden, how far can I go this time? I'll use all the knowledge I have from my previous life about divine judgment and surpass everyone. Tianosu, survive on your own." His eyes gleamed with a murderous light. "And as for Sun Fei, I'll kill you myself." A moment later, Qing found himself inside a grand hall with multiple doors, each leading to a different profession. As he took in his surroundings, a familiar sensation washed over him, filling him with nostalgia. The class selection hall, what memories. "The first time I came here, I panicked and took hours to choose my profession before I could leave, but this time I must be faster." In his past life, he had chosen the warrior class to protect Tianosu. Even though warriors weren't weak, in his current situation, that profession no longer suited him. Tianfeng felt that his speed to advance would be much greater. Mobility was the most important thing. He made a firm decision. He would choose the profession of assassin. Without hesitation, he extended his hand toward the assassin's door. At that moment, a notification appeared in his vision that the Eye of Judgment has been successfully linked. The Eye of Judgment has activated its unique attribute of Power of Judgment, a passive skill. Upon entering Divine Judgment, you will automatically receive the highest level profession and talent. Reading the notification, Tianfeng exclaimed in astonishment. The Eye of Judgment. Everything made sense now. Divine relics, once they recognized an owner, could neither be stolen nor used by anyone else, even if forcibly taken from their body. Perhaps the reason he had returned to life was because of its power. As he continued to process what it meant to have the Eye of Judgment, a dense black mist emerged from nowhere and passed through his body. Little by little, the dark mist completely enveloped him. The notifications kept appearing. "Congratulations, you have unlocked a hidden profession. Class transfer in progress. Transfer complete. You are now Eat the Shadow." When the mist dissipated, Tianfeng emerged with a new appearance. His hair had turned silver and his body was surrounded by a dark and terrifying aura. He looked at his hands and the black energy around him, unable to hide his surprise. The Shadow. So this is the most powerful hidden profession of the assassins. It was a completely different sensation from his past life as a warrior. He had just received a new profession, yet the power flowing through his body was overwhelming. Normally, the chances of obtaining a high-level hidden profession when choosing a class were extremely low. However, the Power of Judgment had ensured an absolute probability. This power, it can truly transcend the rules and order itself. Before he could fully grasp what was happening, his body began to emit a golden glow, completely enveloping him. More notifications followed. Power of Judgment activated. Primal Power, the oldest and truest force in the universe. This power dominates over rules and order. You currently lack divinity and cannot activate it manually. Temporary passive effect activated. In an instant, Tianfeng had successfully unlocked a hidden profession. Sitting atop a statue, he gazed at the moon on the horizon, lost in thought. "In my past life, it wasn't until the 7th year of Divine Judgment that a warrior managed to escape the land abandoned by the gods and enter the land of order. Only then did humanity discover the existence of the power of order. But despite the years that followed, no one had ever fully obtained that power. And here I am. I only just begun, and I already possess a power capable of surpassing both rules and order itself. If he managed to escape the land abandoned by the gods and reach the land of order, he would obtain divinity, unlocking the full potential of his Power of Judgment. It seems that in this life, I already have a new goal." Just then, the system's voice echoed in his mind, interrupting his thoughts. "Profession selection complete. Please enter your in-game name." Tianfeng was slightly surprised. After a moment of reflection, he raised his hand and touched the system interface. "If my profession was born from darkness, then I shall be called the Shadow." The system immediately responded. "Your name has been registered as the Shadow." Wasting no more time, Tianfeng advanced rapidly toward the land abandoned by the gods. The system immediately displayed a new notification. "This is a desolate territory where countless demonic creatures roam uncontrollably. Please be cautious. They can tear you apart and take your life at any moment. Upon leaving Caracola Town and Monster Slayer, you will receive additional years of life expectancy, which can be exchanged. However, if you die in the game, you will lose half of your total life expectancy, including both the exchangeable and non-exchangeable portions." In an instant, Qin Fenji arrived at Caracola Town, a safe zone within the territory. Around him, a murmur of voices filled the air as players tried to make sense of what was happening. "Where are we? What is this profession? What does this codename mean? I had just finished my night shift at work, laid down in bed, and suddenly ended up here. Is this all hallucination? I have no idea. I was playing Battle Royale all night, fell asleep, and suddenly woke up here. Damn it, this hurts too much. This isn't a dream. It looks like we've been dragged into some kind of game." Qin Fenji remained silent, listening to the conversations around him. So, there are already many people trapped in this game. It won't be long before warriors from all over the world emerge, trying to restructure the global order. If I want to get ahead of them, I have to move faster. Time waits for no one. Qn Feng's presence quickly caught the attention of the players around him. Many looked at him with curiosity. What profession is that? Why does he look different from us? I don't know, but look at the daggers in his hands. He's probably an assassin. But I'm an assassin too. Why do I look as cool as him? Look, he even has special effects around his body. As Qn Feng walked through the city, a group of players suddenly blocked his path. Murmurs and complaints echoed among them. It hurts too much, so if you die, you just respawn in the city. Those monsters are too fierce. One bite took away half of my health bar. How are we supposed to defeat them? It was just a damn low-level crypt monster, but even attacking it together, the 5 of us only managed to take down a third of its health. I've already lost half of my life expectancy. One of the group members looked at the girl sitting on the ground and asked, Luz, what do we do now? The young woman held her head in frustration. My head hurts. From a distance, Qn Fen jibs her in silence, noticing something unusual. An archer's starting weapon was usually a short bow, but she was using a longbow. It was likely she had a hidden profession. Noticing Qn Fen staring at her, the girl quickly stood up and spoke to him. Hey brother, it looks like you have a hidden profession. Would you like to join our team? The monsters outside the city are too strong. One person alone can't face them. We've already been wiped out once, so we have experience. Upon hearing that, Qn Fenji couldn't help but laugh internally. Experience in dying. Without a second thought, he coldly rejected the offer. Not interested. Then he turned around and continued on his way. 2 members of the group watched him leave and couldn't help but mock him. What, is he going to act like some kind of expert? There were 5 of us, and we still couldn't defeat a single monster. Does he really think he can do it alone? He has a hidden profession, and on top of that, he's an assassin. If he can't defeat them, at least he can run away. Ha! I'm dying of laughter. I already told him it's extremely dangerous out there, but he still plans to go alone. He wants to die. Meanwhile, the girl accessed the system to search for information about him. After a few seconds, she exclaimed in surprise. His name is Shadow. Watching his back as he walked away, she clicked her tongue in annoyance. T-esque, another one who thinks he's superior to everyone else. She then turned to her group and gave instructions. Let's follow him. I want to see what skills he has. Maybe we can gather some new information about those monsters. It'll be interesting to see how he dies. As Qn Fengi walked slowly through the city, Leslie followed him closely, observing him attentively. The land forsaken by the gods was a strange and dangerous place. He still didn't understand why he had ended up in this world. Thanks to his years of experience in online games, he had quickly managed to form a small team. Thinking about the terrifying creature that had defeated them before, he trembled slightly. I never imagined that the first monster in the Novus village could annihilate us so easily. That wasn't an enemy a level 1 player could defeat. Around him, his team members murmured among themselves. His starting weapon is different from ours. You have daggers, but he uses a short sword. And not only that, he's much faster than me. Assassins are supposed to have the highest agility. Also, his clothes don't look like ours. Light kept her eyes fixed on Qn Fen, deep in thought. That player at the shadow is different. If we follow him, we might get some valuable information. Suddenly, Qn Fudge felt a strange presence behind him and quickly turned his head. His sharp gaze locked on Lay's group, and she, startled, hurried to hide behind a tree. He noticed us. Before they could react, a dark aura enveloped Qn Fenji's body. In the blink of an eye, he vanished in a swirl of black smoke, merging with the mysterious blue glow of the surroundings. The players were stunned. Where is he? He disappeared. Is that a stealth skill? How can his starting ability be invisibility? What kind of profession is this? It's incredible. Lay clicked her tongue in frustration and turned to her team. Forget it. Let's go back to the city and find a way to level up. It's too dangerous out here. We've already died once, and our lifespan has been cut in half. One of the players hesitated. That's true, but maybe there's a hidden quest to treasure, or we could find an important NPC. Without further discussion, the group decided to return, abandoning the chase. They didn't realize that Qn Fenenji's blurred silhouette was watching them closely. He checked his system information. Stealth. Entering stealth mode grants invisibility. You will only become visible if you take damage. Upon exiting stealth mode, your first attack will deal increased damage. Stealth mastery doubles the duration of invisibility and increases its level by 1. Qn Fej was surprised. They can't see me. This shadow profession really is special. At this level, ordinary assassins could still be detected with relative ease. However, the shadow profession had the stealth mastery ability, granting absolute invisibility. Neither players nor monsters could sense his presence at this early stage. He glanced indifferently at the group of players. A bunch of knave fools. There's nothing useful in the city to improve one's power. That place is nothing more than a temporary refuge for players, but in divine judgment, weak players would always end up as prey for the demonic creatures. As his body started to become visible again, he murmured, "Invisibility has ended." The duration wasn't very long, but fortunately the cooldown started the moment the ability was activated. In just a few seconds, he could turn invisible again. The system updated his status. Name the shadow. Profession shadow. Level. Non-tradable lifespan 75. Tradable lifespan 0 year. Strength 10. Constitution tempo 3. Agility 10. Spirit 10. Analyzing his stats, Qinfeng reflected. Every player starts with base stats of 10 points. Each profession grants different bonuses based on this. In my past life, when I chose the warrior profession, I only received bonuses to strength and constitution. Plea 3 each. But now, with the shadow profession, all my attributes have improved and agility has increased by a whopping Paul Ake. Then, he noticed something unexpected in the system. Unassigned attribute points 5. Surprise, he exclaimed. I still have 5 extra points to allocate. Most players initially invested in strength or spirit to enhance physical or magical damage. But that was a mistake. Thanks to the experience from his past life, he didn't hesitate for a second and allocated all his points to agility. Looking at the system notification, Tianfeng confirmed that all his attribute points had been assigned to agility. He nodded in satisfaction. Agility is the most important thing. No matter how the points are distributed at the beginning, the damage from any demonic creature is always little to players. The only way to survive is to increase agility and speed to kill monsters without taking damage. Suddenly, a strange crunching sound caught his attention. Behind a tree, a dark silhouette moved. Secret. The creature was absorbing a mysterious blue light. The system displayed a notification. Crypt, level 1 common grade, evolving in progress. Tianfeng immediately understood. So this is the crypt that wiped out that group of 4 players. He examined its body and noticed multiple wounds. It seems they had already weakened it significantly before dying. In an instant, Tianfeng leaped agilely, dodging its attack. According to his memories, when a monster killed a player, it absorbed their life expectancy and could evolve through this process. The creature extended its limbs, its body began to levitate, and a dark blue light surrounded its eyes. The monster locked its murderous gaze onto Tianfeng, sensing the threat. But before it could react, Tianfeng launched himself from above, his short sword flashing with a deadly gleam. Hidden strike, lightning assassination. The blade descended at lightning speed, cutting directly through the creature's neck. You have inflicted 174 damage. You have eliminated a level 1 crypt. You have received 10 experience points. Tianfeng was surprised. A lethal strike in a single attack. Although attacking a crypt's neck guaranteed a critical hit, the damage was too high. Another system notification appeared. Backstab, if you attack an enemy outside their field of vision, damage is double. So that's why. In addition to the critical hit, both Backstab and his class abilities had activated simultaneously, pushing the damage to absurd levels. He remained silent for a moment, remembering his past life. He recalled how at that moment, he had held Tianu tightly in his arms as she trembled in terror. Back then, a warrior's critical hit only dealt 40 damage, and even then, it took a long time to defeat a crit. On top of that, he always ended up injured. Memory slowly resurfaced. At that time, the 2 siblings had been both excited and nervous as they held the sphere of light in their hands. The luminous sphere floated above their palms, radiating a warm glow. Tianfeng extended his hand and clenched it tightly. The system immediately displayed a notification. You have obtained 0.3 days of transferable life expectancy. You have obtained 55 days of non-transferable life expectancy. He looked at the system notification and began to calculate. If these 5 players were killed, each must have lost at least 20 to 30 years of life expectancy. That means the crypt absorbed over 100 years in total. But after the life expectancy was transferred to me, I only received 54 years. While non-transferable life expectancy doesn't have an immediate use anyway, the system issued another notification. The power of judgment has been activated. Congratulations, you have obtained the talent Infinite Evolution. Tianfeng's eyes widened in astonishment. Infinite Evolution, a primordial level talent. When you defeat monsters in solo mode, you have a chance to receive evolution points, which can be used to improve skills. Another notification appeared. Every 24 hours, you will automatically receive 5 evolution points. If you defeat a boss in solo mode, you will always receive additional points. Current points 5. Tianfeng muttered in surprise. I can evolve skills. In his past life, he had never heard of anything like this. Normally, both equipment and skills obtained from monsters remain at the same level and never changed. So this is the power that transcends all rules and order. Without hesitation, he opened the system and selected his first upgrades. Alright, let's test this. He chose to upgrade Stealth and Backstab. The system immediately responded, you have spent 4 evolution points. Skill evolution completed. Original skill Stealth and normal level. Allows entry invisibility mode for 12 to 16 seconds. Attacking while hidden will reveal your presence. Upon exiting invisibility, the first pulls 60% to 90% additional damage. Cooldown 20 to 26 seconds. Original skill Backstab is normal level. Passive effect, if you attack an enemy from behind, damage increases by 10% to 15%. Tianfeng felt satisfied and commented, the stealth duration has increased to 16 seconds. When combined with stealth mastery, its duration doubles, reaching 32 seconds. No, my invisibility lasts long enough. If this skill keeps evolving, even a Crip in full-blood fury could be killed in a single strike. Suddenly, a shout caught his attention. Look, that scrawny guy just killed a monster by himself. Told you this game was easy. Beside the speaker, a blonde-haired girl looked at him with admiration. Connie, you're amazing. With your strength, you could defeat at least 10 more people. The man called Cakesy laughed arrogantly. Haha, don't worry, I'll protect you. As long as I'm here, you have nothing to fear. Tianfeng ignored their conversation. Tianfeng fixed his gaze on Key's surroundings with a confident smile. He turned to him and offered help. Friend, I see you're having trouble getting out on your own. Do you want me to take you with me? Without realizing it, 2 red eyes were watching him from above. Tianfeng immediately recognized the breeder and activated Still. The girl looked confused when she noticed his disappearance. Here, where did he go? The man took the opportunity to brag. He must have been scared when he saw my muscles. Both continued laughing when, suddenly, a gigantic spider descended from the top of a tree. Key looked up and screamed in horror. What the hell is that? Within seconds, the 2 became its prey. The system displayed a notification. Breeder level 1 bronze rank. Around it, a smaller spiders appeared. The system provided more information. Breeder spawn level 1 common grade. From a nearby position, Tianfeng observed the scene and evaluated the situation. The breeder is the boss of the novice village. It is around 600 HP, completely out of reach for normal players. Not to mention that it commands an army of lesser spiders. At that moment, his eyes sharpened as he leaped toward the monster. Well, what better way to test my enhanced skills than with you? With a single strike of Hidden Strike Lightning Assassination, Qi and Fenji slashed the monster's head, making it roar in pain. Without giving it time to react, he delivered another horizontal slash to its abdomen. He quickly activated stealth and vanished into the darkness. The wounded breeder roared furiously. The system displayed a notification. You have dealt 338 damage, attack directed at a weak point, but right after another notification appeared. You have received 9 damage. Cunifed shuddered. That was close if I didn't have enough agility. With just 120 HP, a single hit could have killed me instantly. But still my attack managed to deal over 300 damage. This is incredible. The monster, unable to locate him, grew even more furious and began destroying everything around it with its legs. The Cunifed hid behind a tree analyzing the situation. It lost its patience. High-level demonic creatures don't just attack mindlessly, it won't stand still waiting for me to strike. From his hiding spot, he watched the breeder begin striking the surroundings chaotically, trying to find him. Meanwhile, the smaller spiders were on high alert, making it dangerous to approach. Suddenly, the breeder started moving in his direction. Qi Fenji grabbed a stone from the ground and threw it with all his strength. The rock cut through the air and embedded itself in the monster's abdomen. The system notified, you have dealt 299 damage, attack directed at a weak point. Qi picked up another stone, confirming his theory. Azai thought. He leaned against the tree trunk, deep in thought. My greatest source of damage comes from stealth, enhanced attacks, and my advanced class skills. Even a stone, if it hits correctly, can deal significant damage. Briefly leaving his stealth, he launched another stone with deadly precision. I just need to wait for stealth's cooldown to finish. The projectile struck the same previous wound, reactivating the effects of Hidden Strike, Lightning Assassination, and Backstab. The damage multiplied again, just as he had planned. The system displayed another notification. You have dealt 279 damage, attack directed at a weak point. Qi Fenji reactivated stealth and hid behind a tree, considering his next move. Alright, I just need to wait for stealth's cooldown to finish. He picked up another stone and prepared to throw it again, ready to attack as soon as his ability recharged. Suddenly, a system announcement echoed throughout the city. The ranking has been updated. Player, the Shadow, has defeated the Bronze rank breeder and has become the first player to reach level 2. The level ranking in Seashell Town has been activated. All the players in the city looked up at the notification. What the hell? I've been killed twice in a row by a simple creature, and now? How is there already someone who has defeated a boss alone? If anyone knows this incredible guy, please introduce him. He really fought alone. It can't be. There's only one name on the leaderboard. A player sweating coldly exclaimed. That guy, the Shadow, is the one who left the city a while ago. I even read it. He was shocked and stammered. How could he reach level 2 so quickly? This doesn't make sense. And on top of that, he defeated a boss. We couldn't even kill a common monster, and he did it all alone. This must be a system error, right? Even Connie couldn't believe it. That giant spider was really taken down by someone, but the breeder was still after its offspring. Who the hell is the Shadow? The blonde-haired girl frowned, wondering, could it be that assassin with stealth skills we saw earlier? Meanwhile, Qi Fenji received several system notifications. You have defeated the Bronze rank breeder. You've gained 300 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 2. Congratulations, you've gained 2 evolution points. Congratulations, you've unlocked the ranking of the Caracola town. Congratulations, you've earned 1 point of prestige. This achievement has been announced throughout the city. Kunenju watched as the giant spider began to fade away and sighed in regret. If I had eliminated the offspring first, I would have gained more experience. It was an oversight on my part. The system showed a new notification. You've gained 46 days of exchangeable life expectancy. You've received the Greedy Hand skill book, Bronze rank. You've received the Corrosive Cutter sword, Bronze rank, attack 35, agility 28, level 1 required. You've earned 2 evolution points. Reading the description of the Greedy Hand skill book, Qi Fengi reflected, so it's a skill from the assassin class. The system continued with its explanation once learned. This skill gives a 20% chance of obtaining additional loot when defeating monsters. Level 1 required. Qi Fengi murmured in astonishment. Greedy Hand. I didn't expect a Bronze rank boss to drop a legendary skill for assassins. If used correctly, this could significantly increase the amount of gear obtained in the future with a 20% chance. If I defeat powerful bosses, I could receive additional loot. He recalled something from his past life in my old guild, the God Hunters. There was a player who didn't have great combat skills, but thanks to this ability, he became one of the most sought-after people in the guild. Every time he went hunting, he always had personal bodyguards protecting him. Suddenly, Qi Fengi's eyes shone with excitement. Wait a minute. If this skill has a 20% chance, but I combine it with my infinite evolution talent, doesn't that mean I could increase its success rate to unimaginable levels? I could get unlimited loot. Meanwhile, at school, the campus was filled with students walking back and forth. Tiedo Su and her friend were heading back to class. The short-haired girl beside her asked with concern, Xiao Su, aren't you going to call your brother to apologize? Yesterday we sneaked out to support Faye. I'm sure your brother is really mad. Tiano Su frowned angrily and replied disdainfully. He didn't do anything wrong. Why should I apologize? If it weren't for him, we would have almost been late to Sun Fei's event. He should be the one apologizing. Her friend sighed, but he's always been really good to you. Sometimes I really envy you for having such a brother. Tiano sorted dismissively. Well, my rear, he's always meddling in my business. Besides, he's not even my real brother. Sun Fei is all I need. Suddenly, her friend asked curiously, by the way, So, what happened to your face? Tiano Su turned her gaze away and replied indifferently, nothing. I just fell. Before they could reach the classroom, an uneasy murmur spread around them. In front of their classroom, a large crowd had gathered. Her friend frowned in confusion. What's going on? Why are so many people gathered in front of our classroom? She pushed through the crowd to get a better view, and what she saw left her frozen. Sui, her classmate, was collapsed on his desk. His whole body appeared translucent. Her friend immediately panicked. What happened to Asue? Why does his body look like that? One of the nearby students responded nervously. I don't know. A moment ago, he said he was going to take a nap, and then he just started fading away like this. The crowd began to speak even louder. This isn't just happening to him. It's occurring all over the world. Experts believe that anyone who falls asleep enters a spectral state, but they still don't know the exact cause. Her friend pulled out her phone in concern. I need to call my parents and warn them. Xiao, why don't you call your brother and tell him to be careful too? But Tiano simply scoffed coldly. I'm not going to contact him first. If he dies, better for me. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Tianfeng stared intently at the red ring on his finger when a notification appeared before his eyes. Congratulations, Greedy Hand has successfully evolved. Greedy Hand, a bronze rank, a Greedy Hand, a gold rank. Assassin class skill using it on monster corpses increases loot gain from 20% to 70%. You have learned Greedy Hand Pull 2. He clenched his fists and a golden glow flashed in his hands, followed by another system notification. Greedy Hand Judgment completed successfully. You have obtained 2 evolution points. You have obtained 46 days of exchangeable lifespan. Tianfeng narrowed his eyes with a faint smile. It looks like the real hunt is just beginning. He let out a loud laugh. Not bad. My luck isn't bad at all. I've gotten 2 more evolution points. I need 3 points to upgrade Greedy Hand T3. Soon I'll reach a 100% chance of obtaining extra loot. He activated stealth and vanished into the darkness. As he did, he pondered, the governments of the world must have already discovered this phenomenon. More and more people are being dragged into this game. I need to accelerate my progress. Before anything else, he equipped his available items. The system displayed a notification, equipped corrosive cutter sword of bronze rank. Pulsey 3-8 agility, requirement level 1. His body merged with the shadows as he calculated his next move. It won't be long before people realize that the skills and items from this game can be used in real life. When that happens, the world will plunge into bloody chaos. To gain skills and equipment, 2 requirements must be met. Reach level 10. Have enough exchangeable lifespan. If I only hunt small monsters, it will take me too long to meet both conditions. I need to find stronger bosses. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed nearby. Hi! From his elevated position, Tianfeng observed the scene with interest. A worried voice shouted from below. On the ground, a red, color creature with a mouthful of sharp fangs roared menacingly. The system displayed its information. Wild Runner level 2 of bronze rank. Tianfeng grinned in amusement. Wild Runner, ha! Just when I felt like hunting, the perfect prey appears. But then, he noticed a young man fighting the creature with a shield. Something about him seemed familiar. Wait a second, that's Ju Men. He hadn't expected to find him here. So the legend is true. They say that when Vu entered the Divine Trial, he formed a team with 6 other players, all of them with hidden professions. Raised his shield and shouted, "Shield guard." Immediately his shield emitted a golden glow as he braced against the Wild Runner. Tianfeng recalled Wang Meng's hidden profession. Holy Guardian, he has double the base attributes compared to a regular warrior. On top of that, he possesses invincible skills, not an easy opponent to take down. At that moment, a red-haired girl lifted her staff, causing a golden vortex to swirl above her head before launching it at the monster. The system displayed. Tianfeng silently analyzed the situation. The hidden profession Arcane Magus has double the magic damage compared to common mages, plus it comes with the special skill Persistent Fireball. Meanwhile, a young archer was shooting arrows at the monster. His hidden class, Eagle-Eyed Sniper, had double the accuracy and damage compared to regular archers. He also possessed a special skill, Rapid Chain Shot. Beside him, another player held a magical book that glowed with a blue light. His hidden class was Celestial Priest, with twice the healing capacity of normal priests. From the very start of the battle, he had access to group healing skills. Fireballs and arrows flew one after another, but the Wild Runner managed to dodge them with ease. As its name suggested, its speed was overwhelming. Even Men's protective shield began to crack. Men groaned with difficulty. The archer grew worried. We can't, this boss is too fast. Attacking it from a distance is almost impossible. One man quickly commanded, "Healer, heal me now. The rest of you keep attacking and chip away at its health bit by bit." Instantly, healing symbols appeared above his head, indicating that his health was being restored. From a dark corner, Qunfeng watched the scene with a mocking smile, reducing its health little by little. Wang Men, you're too optimistic. He glanced at the shadowy forest surrounding them and reflected. This is a wild territory. If they prolong the battle too much, they'll only attract more demonic creatures. Just as he had predicted, 2 demonic creatures appeared behind Men. Qunfenji recognized them immediately. Level 2 common rank Core-Ups. Their bodies were covered in dark brown sludge, and they specialized in long-range attacks. A young swordsman lunged forward, shouting, "Boss, watch out." His sword extended and struck the monster with force. Qunfeng observed with interest. Well, looks like another hidden class I haven't seen before. The young man gripped his sword tightly and tried to pull it out of the monster's body, but he couldn't. The system displayed a damage value of 33 points. Its defense is pretty high, the young man muttered. Suddenly, the creature opened its mouth and spat out a gray, viscous liquid. The young swordsman, now covered in the sticky substance, fell to the ground. He cursed, "Damn it, I'm trapped. My speed has been reduced. This stinks." A red-haired girl, seeing him struggle, cursed angrily, "Damn creature." The monster raised one of its long claws and swung it toward her. She screamed in desperation, "Someone help me." From above, Qunfeng moved slightly. In an instant, a blue flash streaked through the air. The monster's head rolled to the ground. The archer froze in shock. Abimen's eyes widened in disbelief. Even the celestial priest was paralyzed, unable to believe what had just happened. The red-haired girl shouted in astonishment. One strike, he just killed a corrupt with a single strike. Someone is helping us. The young swordsman, still covered in sludge, trembled in disbelief. Even killing a level 1 creep took us more than 10 seconds by surrounding it, but that level 2 corrupted was taken down in an instant. That doesn't make sense. As if to confirm his thoughts, another blue flash lit up the battlefield. Another head fell to the ground. The young swordsman swallowed hard. That was an execution. He turned to the red-haired girl and asked, Daily, did you see who did it? She shook her head. I didn't see anything. Wang Men took the opportunity to shout, Whoever you are, please help us. Don't lose focus, keep attacking. He stood up and looked at the monster in front of him before giving another order. Only the wild runner is left. Maintain the same attack rhythm. From the top of a nearby tree, Q Feng received a system notification. And you have eliminated 2 level 2 corrupts. You have gained 40 experience points. You have obtained 1 evolution point. You have acquired the skill book Poison Shuriken, a common rank. You have obtained 8 days of life expectancy, exchangeable. Reading the notification, Q Feng thought, Poison Shuriken, a mid to long range attack skill that deals damage over time. Perfect. Without hesitation, he activated the option to evolve. The system responded immediately. You have improved Venomous Shuriken to Venomous Shuriken to Silver rank, Assassin class. Range of 40 meters on and deals 120% damage and induces poison status. Cooldown 5 seconds. Requirement level 2. Poison effect inflicts 50% additional damage per second for 5 seconds. Applies weakness but is not stackable. Meanwhile, the Wild Runner launched a direct attack at Wang Men. He quickly raised his shield and managed to block the impact. However, the monster's other leg caught him off guard, stabbing into his abdomen. His shield and weapon fell to the ground as his body was lifted into the air. Wang Meng screamed in pain. The archer panicked. The celestial healer desperately flipped through his grimoire. I can't heal him. Regeneration isn't working. With blood filling his mouth, Wang Meng looked at his team and gave one final order. At that moment, a blue flash cut through the air at the speed of light. The projectile embedded itself directly into the monster's eye. The system displayed, damage inflicted A45 is a weak point hit. The celestial healer stood in shock. What was that? The boss just lost more than half of its HP in an instant. A green liquid oozed from the Wild Runner's head wound. As the creature trembled violently, still suspended in the air, Wang Meng was brutally slammed to the ground, gasping in pain. The Wild Runner, now in its death throes, let out a heart-wrenching roar. The system continued displaying notifications. Poison image licked to 324 applied 4 times. The creature collapsed face first onto the ground, dead. The system announced, your total damage output has exceeded 90%. The loot rewards belong to you. You have eliminated the bronze rank Wild Runner. You have gained 600 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 3. You have obtained 2 evolution points. You have obtained 55 days of exchangeable life expectancy. Tian Feng was astonished. I didn't expect Venomous Shuriken's damage over time effect to trigger along with my passive ability. If I combine this with stealth, I'll be able to stay invisible while continuously throwing shurikens. In the early and mid-game, no monster will be able to match me. Meanwhile, Wang Meng stared at the fading corpse of the Wild Runner, a chill running down his spine. This is terrifying with that kind of damage. Is he even human? As the monster's body completely vanished, Wang Meng murmured. Even the loot light disappeared. Despite his pain, he struggled to his feet, trembling, and clasped his hands together in a respectful gesture. Brother, I don't know what kind of divinity you are, but thank you for saving my life. From the darkness, a cold voice responded, thanking me in the wilderness. You shouldn't trust others so easily. Wang Meng understood the message immediately and ordered his team to leave. Before departing, he bowed his head respectfully and said, I understand. Thank you for the advice, Grandmaster. I won't interfere with your loot. My name is Wang Men. If you ever need help, come find me. Dale also shouted before leaving. Grandmaster, I'm Beilong Dale. Can I add you as a friend? One of his teammates quickly grabbed his arm and whispered urgently, Shut up and let's get out of here. Tian Feng gazed at the glowing sphere in his palm and thought, Wang Meng isn't a bad person. He might be someone I can trust in the future. Plus, he's backed by the Daxia government, which means he has plenty of funding and resources. Exactly what I need. Distribution channel to sell the items I don't need. He raised his hand and activated Greedy Hand. The system displayed a series of notifications. Congratulations, you have obtained 3 evolution points. You have obtained 55 days of exchangeable life expectancy. You have obtained Lightning Speed Pants of Bronze rank. Equipped. Item Lightning Speed Pants of Bronze rank Assassin class. Physical Defense Applaw. Resistance to all element percent. Skill cooldown 50%. Requirement level 2. Tian Feng slowly walked away, smiling in satisfaction. This expedition wasn't bad at all. I still have plenty of gear and skill books from different professions. When my backpack is full, I will return to Caracola village and exchange these items for interchangeable life hope. His eyes gleamed with a cold flash as he murmured in a threatening voice, My growth speed is now 100 times faster than in my past life. Sanfi, I will come for you very soon. Meanwhile, the monsters continued their relentless attacks. Tian Feng from the side gathered energy and created a protective barrier to block the attack of a nearby creature. At the same time, Day's group was struggling, barely managing to defend themselves from each assault. One of Day's companions, who was wielding a sword, shouted in desperation, We can't keep going like this. There are more and more monsters. We have to run. But while some hesitated, Meng noticed that several of his teammates had frozen in place. Why are you paralyzed? He turned towards them, and upon seeing what stood before them, his mouth fell open in shock. Abu, what the hell is that? In front of the group, a gigantic creature had appeared. Its body was covered in eyes that spread across its entire skin, and through its perforated abdomen, oscillating organs could be seen. Without giving them time to react, the beast opened its stomach, releasing purple tentacles as spikes which shot toward the group. In an instant, they were all annihilated, forcing them to respawn at the starting point. 1W Meng returned. His expression was filled with rage and helplessness. Damn it! The monsters always appear in groups, and when they are about to die, they flee to bring reinforcements. Beside him, a young man with blonde hair exclaimed urgently, "We need to reach level 3 to get out of this place." But how are we supposed to do that? Another team member frowned and replied, "It looks like we need to gather more people. If 3 players aren't enough to form a solid team, then we should create a group of 6 or even 10 players. As soon as he finished speaking, another teammate immediately objected, "I don't think that will work. I saw a team of 10 people get wiped out by a group of monsters. If we gather too many people, we'll only attract more of them. Just a moment ago, there was a group of 40 players, and they ended up attracting that damn monster. It killed more than 30 of them with a single attack." Meanwhile, Day's group was also on the verge of collapse. Day, with her head lowered, murmured in frustration, "If we don't reach level 3, that means we'll be trapped here forever." One of her teammates paled with fear upon hearing that. "We all arrived here after falling asleep. In other words, we lost consciousness in the real world. If we don't get out of this game in time, our bodies will die of starvation." Furious, Day clenched her teeth and shouted, "Damn it, why is this game so insanely difficult?" Another team member, his face filled with anxiety, added in desperation, "Day, we've already died 3 times. Our remaining lifespan is now less than 10 years. Day closed her eyes in determination. "No matter what happens, we cannot die again." At that moment, the profession ranking appeared in the system. Shadow Assassin level 3, Meng level 1, Warrior Bilal level 1. Dai was surprised to see the names. That shadow guy, how did he level up so fast? He must have found a way to reach level 3 quickly, and if he knows how to do it, then he can help us escape this game. She immediately gave an order to one of her team members. Spread the word. If Shadow helps us reach level 3, I'll pay him 10 million in cash. Her teammate was stunned. 10 million! Day clenched her fists with determination. I don't think he can ignore an offer like that. Meanwhile, Tianfeng continued slaughtering monsters one after another. System notifications kept popping up. You have eliminated a level 2 corrupt. You have gained 20 experience points. You have obtained 1 evolution point. Reading the notification, Tianfeng nodded in satisfaction. I have accumulated enough evolution points. Without wasting time, he opened the interface and used his points to upgrade the greedy hand. The system displayed an announcement. You have consumed 5 evolution points, remaining point 0. Congratulations. The greedy hand has evolved into the greedy hand of Emerald Class Assassin. Ability applicable to monster corpses. Probability obtaining additional loot at 7%. The loot obtained has a 20% chance to level up. Seeing the energy glow emanating from his hand, Qian Fenji frowned with curiosity. A 20% chance of the items leveling up. Is this an invincible skill? If I keep improving it, can I reach 100% or even 200%? As he reflected on this, a distant sound caught his attention. He looked down and saw a massive monster appear. The system showed its information. Curse level 2 bronze rank. Qian Fenji was surprised. A cursed one. It seems like it has been consuming life force and is trying to evolve to silver rank. It must have wiped out the group of 40 players that were here earlier. He decided to mark the location on his map, but then sighed in frustration. What a shame. My backpack is completely full. Even if I kill it, I won't be able to collect anything. The bosses need some time to respawn. First, I'll clear my inventory, then I'll come back and take it down. Scene change at Karakola village. After Daly's group spread rumors throughout the village, the conversations between players were non-stop. Have you heard? Someone is offering 10 million for the Shadow Assassin to help them level up. Every time we die, our life force keeps decreasing. Has the government found a solution? Not yet, but for players like us, the way out seems almost impossible. At that moment, Qian Fenton returned to the village and appeared on the streets. Without wasting time, he sat in a corner and set up a sale announcement for equipment and skills. The message read, discount on equipment and skills for the next 10 minutes. Hurry and buy before it's gone. As soon as the announcement appeared, a crowd gathered around him. Players began whispering excitedly, oh my god, when did this guy appear? He really killed a bronze rank boss. Look, he's using bronze rank gear and still has 2 extra sets for sale. It's the Shadow Assassin #1 ranked player. Why can't I see his face? He must have activated the disguise mode. In this game, a player's appearance is identical to their real-life look. What a mystery. Interaction with a mysterious buyer? At that moment, a masked woman approached Qian Feng. How could I buy the Ice Dagger skill? Qian Feng quickly glanced at her and replied, 100 days of life force. For a moment, he hesitated. But this woman must be Grey Rose, currently ranked number 10. She also activated disguise mode, just like me. When Grey Rose heard the price, she was taken aback. 100 days of life force. That's too much. Could it be cheaper? Qian Feng responded coldly. The Ice Dagger skill can significantly increase the monster respawn rate in the early game. 100 days is already a very low price. Grey Rose frowned and proposed another option. Can I pay with real money? Qian Feng looked up and responded without hesitation. If you have enough money, buy other players' life force first, then trade with me. If no one offers a better deal, I'll keep this price for you. The woman fell silent for a moment before speaking again. Please give me a moment. She turned and joined her group. What do you think? her teammates asked. I have no objections. With the ice dagger, we can reach level 3 faster. What's important now is to exit the game as soon as possible. We've only come this far because of your leadership, so I trust your decision. After reaching a consensus, the woman ordered, Alright, transfer all your exchangeable life force to me. When we return to the real world, I'll pay you in cash. She then returned to Kyun and Fenji and said firmly, Here are 100 days of life force, let's make the deal. The system confirmed the transaction. You have sold the Ice Dagger skill. You have received 100 days of exchangeable life force. Your exchangeable life force has increased from 668 days to 368 days. Kyun and Fenji silently observed her and thought, they clearly have more than 100 days of exchangeable life force. As soon as the woman acquired the skill, she left. Just then, Daily appeared in front of him, looking eager and excited. Finally, I found you, Shadow. I have an offer if you help me reach level 3 when we return to the real world. I'll give you 10 million in cash. Nearby players were stunned. Someone is actually paying 10 million to find the Shadow. I thought it was just a rumor, but it's true, earning 10 million so easily. Meanwhile, Daily confidently introduced herself. My father is the president of a big corporation. You can ask anyone. Don't worry, I can pay you. However, Kyun Fen said nothing. He silently observed her. Something about her seemed familiar. So it's her. In my past life, she became the leader of a criminal organization. The government destroyed it afterward. He clearly remembered the official reports. She used cash to buy exchangeable life force, using those exchanges as bait to kidnap players and force them to work for her. Those who refused were simply eliminated, a despicable monster. After a moment of reflection, Kyun Fen's voice rang coldly. I reject your offer. Daily froze for a moment, unable to believe what she had just heard. After a few seconds, she regained her composure and insisted, Shadow, even though you're strong in this game, no one knows what will happen in real life. If you join me, I'll give you everything, the best food, luxury cars, mansions, women, everything you want. Kyun Fenji looked at her coldly, without the slightest interest, and replied, If you're not going to buy anything, please step aside and don't interfere with my business. Hearing this, Daily gritted her teeth in rage. How ridiculous! I offered you my protection because I thought you were worthy. But if we were in the real world, I would teach you a lesson right here. At that moment, Kyun Fenji's eyes glowed with a threatening light. A dark energy began to emanate from his body. He stared directly at Daily and spoke in a chilling voice. If you say one more word, your life force will be reduced to 0. The atmosphere became oppressive, and a terrifying black aura spread from Kyun Fenji's body. Seeing this, Daily's group recoiled in fear. One of her teammates screamed in panic, Run! Let's get out of here! Without hesitation, they fled in a panic. Meanwhile, Kyun Fenji quickly sold all his items. The system displayed the notifications. You have sold the Radiant Cloak, Bronze rank. You've received 19 days of exchangeable life force. His exchangeable life force increased from 527 days to 546 days. After closing his shop, Kyun Fenji stood up and walked away from the market. Alright, everything has been sold. It's time to deal with the cursed one. No one knew that exchangeable life force could be extracted. No one understood that this game, abandoned by the gods, would soon destroy the order of reality. The systems and structures the world once trusted would become insignificant. There would only be one absolute truth: personal power is the root of everything. On the other hand, the group, after running nonstop for a while, finally stopped at a corner of the road, panting from exhaustion. Furious, Daily shouted in rage, That damn Shadow not only rejected my offer but also dared to threaten me. When I return to the real world, I swear I'll catch him and kill him. Just then, a voice came from an alley. A stranger approached them and smiled confidently. Greetings, Miss Daily. My name is Mao Luan, but you can call me Old Mao. I am currently level 2 and know a few tricks to level up. If you want to level up quickly, I can help you. By the way, is your offer of 10 million still valid? Still upset, she crossed her arms and scoffed disdainfully. What tricks? Nonsense. Mao Letten smiled slyly and replied, I don't usually share this information with common people, but since it's for Miss Daily, I'll make an exception. If you really want to level up faster, you must invest all your initial points in agility. That way, when we run at full speed, we can be faster than them and avoid their attacks. Do you understand now? Hearing this, Daily's mouth dropped open in surprise. For a moment, her expression shifted from anger to restrained excitement. So that's how it is. This game is really played this way. DM, I already invested my 5 initial points in strength, she thought, shaking her head. Well, at least I have someone who actually knows how to play. After thinking for a moment, she looked at Mauleton and proposed, You're quite interesting. Fine, take me to level up, but since you're not as strong as the Shadow, I'll only give you 5 million if you get me to level 3. When we return to the real world, I'll make the transfer. Mauleton, ecstatic, accepted immediately. No problem. That Shadow guy may be powerful, but it seems like his brain doesn't work properly, rejecting 10 million so easily. He must be an idiot. Meanwhile, Qunfang had returned to the boss area. Seeing the energy emanating from the creature, his expression turned serious. Just as I suspected, this boss has evolved to silver rank. A dense gray mist enveloped the body of the cursed creature, which continued to evolve. It was transitioning from silver rank to gold rank. To complete its evolution, it still needed about 7 or 8 hours. Kunin snorted impatiently. I don't have time to wait that long. Without hesitation, with a cold gaze, he launched the venomous fierce strike directly at the monster. The cursed creature was hit unexpectedly, unable to react. 60 and seizing the opportunity, Fenji activated Shadow Breaker's Supreme Strike, unleashing a series of sharp slashes against the creature. Even after receiving multiple cuts, the boss remained standing. Fenji leaped into the air and analyzed the situation. Silver rank bosses have about 2 to 3 times more health than bronze rank ones. He then channeled his dark energy. A large amount of black mist and spectral energy began emanating from his body. Activating Shadow Stealth, he vanished from the boss's sight. A few seconds later, the poison from Venomous Fierce Strike began to take effect. The cursed creature howled in pain, its body twisting and convulsing. From a safe distance, Fen watched calmly. I'll need at least 2 or 3 more Venomous Fierce Strikes to finish it off. Suddenly, a massive explosion shook the area. A dense cloud of black smoke spread around. When the dust settled, the silhouette of the cursed creature appeared, still standing. Its body was pierced by multiple wounds, its posture unsteady. From afar, Fenji assessed the situation. His boss is a dark mage type. Most of its abilities are area-affected attacks with extremely high damage. After launching Venomous Fierce Strike, I must retreat immediately, otherwise a single hit could kill me. Just as he was thinking about his next move, the cursed creature suddenly recovered. Its eyes shone with a chilling glow and a dark energy sphere formed above its head as it furiously lunged at Fenji. The Feng reacted immediately, retreating quickly. I must hold out until the cooldown for Shadow Stealth is over. Besides, the boss is already exhausted after so many attacks. When its breathing became more erratic, its movements slowed. Fenji smirked confidently. Knows the time. In an instant, Fenji appeared right in front of the cursed creature. Without giving it time to react, he activated Shadow Break Supreme Strike, unleashing a devastating blow to its head. The cursed creature trembled from the impact. Realizing it couldn't counterattack, the boss attempted to flee. From behind, Feng watched with satisfaction. Now that its health is low, it tries to escape instead of entering Berserker mode. This saves me a lot of trouble. Before the cursed creature could get away, Feng focused his energy into his arm. A powerful wave of dark energy shot directly at its back. In an instant, the boss collapsed to the ground, lifeless. The system displayed notifications. You have defeated the cursed one, a silver rank. You have received 10,000 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 5. You have gained 4 evolution points. You have obtained 124 days of transferable life expectancy. Reading the notification, Feng burst into laughter. 2 levels at once and 4 extra evolution points. Taking advantage of his rewards immediately, he upgraded his Greedy Hand skill. The system displayed a new notification. Greedy Hand has been successfully upgraded. You have gained 4 additional evolution points. You have obtained 124 more days of transferable life expectancy. You have obtained an additional 120 days of transferable life expectancy. Seeing the notifications, Feng was stunned. I received double the additional rewards. He checked the numbers and smiled excitedly. This silver rank boss gave me 12 evolution points and 372 days of transferable life expectancy. Then the system displayed a new message. The special effect of Greedy Hand has been activated. One of your obtained items has been upgraded from silver rank to gold rank. Looking at the dropped items on the ground, Feng was pleasantly surprised. This is a gold rank item, so that's how it works. Greedy Hand Emerald rank has a 20% chance of upgrading obtained items. I've gotten around 7 or 8 items from this hunt. However, his excitement soon faded. My inventory is almost full. I can't keep killing bosses and then returning to town every time to sell items. That would waste too much time. He sighed and looked toward the boss's corpse. I hope this cursed creature dropped a dimensional ring or something similar. I need more storage space. Just as Feng finished speaking, a brilliant light emerged from the pile of items, taking him by surprise. Scene shade. Unlike previous times when she returned disappointed and frustrated, today Daisy shouted with joy. We finally made it back alive. The 2 members of her party smiled at her enthusiasm. One of them responded, "Good thing the great Chief Wang Meng was with us. Thanks to him, we reached level 3 and successfully returned to town." The other added, "This was a team effort." Still excited, Daisy exclaimed with gratitude, That's right. Brother Wang Meng is incredible." Then, she suddenly pretended to be embarrassed and said in a melancholic tone, What a shame. I didn't have time to befriend the great chief. I bet it's because my clothes were all dirty and covered in mud. That's why he didn't want to talk to me." One of her teammates tried to comfort her. "Maybe if you had worn your new armor, the great chief would have accepted your friend request." Ranking update. At that moment, the player rankings updated. Shadow Assassin level 5, One Man Warrior level 3, Dala Warrior level 3. Seeing the ranking, the players in town were stunned. The ranking updated again. Shado already reached level C. He jumped from level 3 to level C in one go. What kind of boss did he fight to level up so fast? One player, still in shock, murmured, "Just 10 minutes ago, I saw him selling equipment. How did he gain 2 levels so quickly?" Another player excitedly commented, "My younger sister is 18 this year. I really hope the great Chief Shadow accepts her into his team. That way I can benefit and level up faster too." His friend laughed mockingly. "Ha! A billion wasn't enough to convince him, and you think he'd be interested in your sister." Meanwhile, Wang Meng sighed in frustration. "Damn, I barely reached level 3, and the great chief is already level 5. This is insane." Hearing their complaints, Wang Meng encouraged them. "Don't worry about that. The most important thing now is returning to the real world and warning our families and friends about this game." The world could fall into chaos, and the best thing we can do is prepare and protect our loved ones. Everyone nodded seriously. You're right, let's log out for now. Shortly after, the group left the game and returned to reality. Reality, a dark room. In a dimly lit room, Wang Meng finally woke up exhausted. As soon as he opened his eyes, the excited voices of several people echoed around him. Look, Brother Wang has woken up. Quick, inform the captain. Brother Wang is awake. His teammates rushed to his bedside, concerned. One of them asked anxiously, Brother Wang, what happened? Are you okay? You had us really worried. You have no idea how you look just now. Your body started turning transparent. Please, don't scare us like that again, Brother Wang. Another team member spoke with a trembling voice. I told you just yesterday to get some rest. I said I'd handle watching the suspects. Still dazed, Wang Meng remained silent for a long time, his eyes vacant, filled with confusion. He was still processing what had happened when suddenly, urgent shouts echoed through the base. Quick, gather everyone immediately. Something serious has happened. The scene unfolds outside a police station. One person asks if the other had heard about a group of professionals with special skills who almost vanished off the map. But someone ultimately saved them. The camera now shifts to the police station's interior, where a spiky-haired officer is talking. He confirms the story, saying yes, the savior's nickname is Shadow. The officer explains that when Shadow rescued him, he was only at level 3, but by the time they reached level 3, Shadow was already at level 5, which shows he jumped 2 levels at once. Another officer, looking thoughtful, reacts to the information. He questions this 2-level jump, wondering if, being at level 5 now, Shadow wouldn't be the best player in the entire world. He ponders how he managed this feat, imagining if he had defeated a very powerful boss or something similar. The thoughtful officer continues the conversation. He raises the point that, from what was said, Shadow had already been at level 3 an hour ago, so why hasn't he returned to reality yet? He wonders if this could be because Shadow has no close relatives in the real world and doesn't need to notify any family. The spiky-haired officer replies that he doesn't know, that maybe Shadow really doesn't have family. At that moment, a short, dark-haired policewoman joins the conversation, asking if Shadow might be a transmigrator. She explains that transmigrators are usually orphans and get strong very quickly. The short-haired policewoman, smiling and pointing her finger, reinforces her theory. She asks, almost expecting an answer, if she hit the nail on the head by saying Shadow is a transmigrator, looking at the other officers to see what they think. The scene closes up on the short-haired policewoman's face. She maintains her smile and repeats the question, now in a more direct way and really expecting confirmation. Am I right? The short-haired policewoman, who we learn is named Anu, gets her ear playfully pulled by an older officer with a thin mustache and a serious face. He tells her to read fewer storybooks, scolding her for joking around in a serious situation like that. Anu, with slightly red cheeks, looks a little embarrassed by the reprimand. The focus returns to the older officer, who maintains his grave expression. He explains that the information Wang Meng passed on about the game, Godforsaken, was the same information they received from their superiors. The scene shows the officers from this side. The older officer continues speaking, revealing that new research shows some people die shortly after falling asleep in the game. The mustached officer turns slightly towards the other spiky-haired officer as he explains what this research means. He states that after gathering and comparing the data with the officers who returned from reality, they saw that these people had indeed died multiple times in the game. The mustached officer, with a worried expression, concludes that this means if someone's lifespan reaches 0 in the game, that person actually dies in real life. The spiky-haired officer, wide-eyed and mouth slightly open, reacts in shock to the information. He says, surprised that this is something totally out of the ordinary, that it is beyond their comprehension. The mustached officer agrees, stating that they are probably being invaded by superior beings they don't even know about. The mustached officer is sitting at the edge of the table, leading the meeting. A speech bubble shows that the superiors gave an urgent order to form exploration teams based in each region, enter the game Godforsaken, and share information. The scene reinforces the urgency of quickly assembling a large army of professionals. The scene zooms out, showing an image of Earth. To give an idea of the scale of the problem, it's a very important event that affects the whole world, and all nations are doing everything to explore the game Godforsaken. If they fall behind in this race, they will lose power in the world, so they have to get information at any cost. The camera focuses on Anu, who is in profile, paying attention. The mustached officer continues giving orders, saying that Anu will be the captain of Team 1. Anu responds with an energetic Wes. The order continues, designating Wang Meng as vice captain and instructing both of them to choose their own teammates. The focus shifts to Wang Meng, who is also in profile, with a serious and concentrated expression. He only responds with an understood, showing that he understood and accepted the order. The mustached officer returns to be in the center of attention. He explains that, from what Wang Meng said, Shadow does not seem to be a bad person, implying that they can try to befriend him. He reveals that he chose Anu to be captain because he thought her personality would be more suitable for investigating Shadow. The mustached officer says that he hopes Anu and Wang Meng find out who Shadow really is as quickly as possible. He emphasizes that it would be great if they could start a partnership with Shadow as their representative and get all the information he has. The scene changes to show the city in the background with the orange sky of sunset. The mustached officer continues, saying that for the rest, the most important order now is to maintain order in society, asking if they understand. In response, a collective yes is heard. To finish, he ends the meeting with a dismissed. The scene is now outside, where a group of uniformed girls are talking. One of them says that Zhang Wei said if everyone from the same district, sleeps at the same time, they will appear in the same village at the start of the game. Another one, looking worried, says that this won't work because she needs to pick up her parents from home who have never played a game before, and she is afraid they won't get used to it. The other one, who was sitting, trying to reassure her, suggests that she shouldn't worry about it now, that they can level up alone first and then bring her parents into the game later. Meanwhile, the protagonist's sister is looking at her cell phone. Thoughtfully, she wonders how something so important happened and Qin Feng said nothing. She thinks a little resentful if he won't even apologize and calls him arrogant. A flashback begins. In an older scene when she was younger, she is angry. In the background, Qin Feng sees her throwing a glass on the floor, furious. She thinks that every time she got angry, he found a way to calm her down. She complains that this time, he not only didn't calm her down, but even hit her, something not even her parents did. She justifies herself saying that the only thing she did was skip class to go see Brother Song Fei's show. Angrily, she scolds Qin Feng, saying that if he doesn't apologize this time, she will never forgive him. She murmurs with a tone of satisfaction that it's a good thing she went to see Brother Song Fei yesterday. She thinks that after the game, Godforsaken, starts, she doesn't think she will have many chances to do that again. The scene changes to a show. A blonde and charming man, dressed in a bright red suit, is on stage with his arms raised, surrounded by an excited crowd. The girl thinks she had never gotten so close to Brother Song Fei, who winked at her, and this had left her so emotional that she even cried. Still sitting holding her cell phone, she seems to have suddenly remembered something. The girl's face lights up, surprised, and her cheeks turn slightly pink. She thinks, realizing what this means. Since we enter the game sleeping, that means Brother Song Fei will definitely enter too. She covers her mouth with her hands, showing happiness and excitement with this idea she just had. Her thoughts race, and she says, "If I enter the game, doesn't that mean I'll meet Brother Song Fei?" The scene changes to show the girl from behind in her room. She is taking off her blouse, showing her bare back as she changes clothes, but her thoughts are already on something else. Jiang Wei leveled up to level 3 so fast. He must be very good at the game. The scene is now in a classroom full of people. A boy is sitting at his desk, surrounded by curious classmates, and receives a message. "Expert Jiang Wei, do you have any tips to share?" Smiling proudly while holding his cell phone, he is feeling on top of the world with all the classmates around him. He replies to Qun Xiao, full of himself, "Hey Qun Xiao, who would have thought a goddess like you would come to ask me for tips?" Thinking to himself, he boasts, seeing a golden opportunity there. "This is the perfect chance if I can get together with Qun Xiao." The scene returns to Qun Xiao's room. She is sitting on her bed, already changed and more comfortable, totally focused on her cell phone. She is talking to Jiang Wei. His message on the screen says, you asked the right person. I'll tell you a secret at the beginning of the game. Put all your attribute points into agility. Otherwise you won't be fast enough and you'll become monster food. Qin Xiao replies, a little insecure, "Even if I'm going to use magic, I'd put everything in agility." And Jiang Wei replies quickly, "Yes, agility isn't useless for those who use magic. It can increase the speed to cast spells. That's very important at the beginning." Qin Xiao is still worried and asks, "But what if even putting everything in agility I can't win?" Qun Xiao's face lights up with a confident and happy smile. Her cheeks turn a little red and she clenches her fist excitedly. Jiang Wei's message says, "Don't worry, show you. As soon as someone in the village reaches level 5, that unlocks the teleport portal in the village. We'll make a group and level up together, and when the portal opens, I'll find you and carry you to heaven." Qun Xiao is now lying in bed, covered with a comforter. She thinks, "Awesome. These jerks are actually good for something. I found someone to carry me." She thinks with determination and a bit of anger. "Qin Feng, I'm gonna enter the game right now. You can keep thinking you're all that, but when you enter the game, you'll see that I'm already much stronger than you, and that I'm the one who won't carry you to level up." The scene changes to a dark and sinister forest. It is raining. Shadow is kneeling on the ground, surrounded by glowing spheres of light. A game item description window appears. Ring of Curse Gold can be used by any class. All attributes +8. Shadow Elemental Resistance +26. Weak point attack multiplier +0.1. Requires level 4 to use. Below the window, the hooded character thinks all attributes +8 is the same as 32 attribute points. He is holding a ring. The player continues analyzing the ring. He thinks this ring is like leveling up 3 times at once, and it even has Shadow Elemental Resistance. This will be very good against many monsters. And sees that the weak point attack multiplier is 1.5 times at the beginning. With this ring, the weak point attack multiplier goes to 1.6 times. A system message appears announcing the skill, Instant Shadow/Silver Assassin skill, dashes in a direction up to 15 meters and becomes invisible as for 5 seconds, dealing 3 hits to all enemies in the path. Cooldown 10.43 seconds, requires level 4 to learn. Slash width 2.1 meters, each slash deals 100 damage and always counts as a back attack, but does not damage weak points. At this moment, Shadow is enveloped in golden lights, showing that he has learned the skill. He thinks this area of effect attack skill is very strong. It teleports and even makes me invisible, and clicks on Learn Now. The character is still glowing in golden light. He thinks that he still has some evolution points and decides to upgrade the Greedy Hand skill first. A system message appears, confirming that he used 8 evolution points and still has 4 points left. A new system message pops up explaining the Greedy Hand skill that evolved from Jade to Diamond, an assassin skill. The description says that it can be used on monster corpses, and now has 220% chance of getting an extra item. The extra item has 40% chance of being one level higher. Shadow thinks that as he expected. Now killing monsters will give him 2 items, making killing 1 monster like killing 3. The player decides to use the evolution points he has left to upgrade the instant Shadow Slash skill by 3 levels. A system message confirms that he used 3 evolution points, leaving only 1 point remaining. A system message shows the details of the instant Shadow Slash that evolved from silver to gold and then to platinum, remaining an assassin's skill. The dash now goes up to 21 meters, invisibility lasts 7 seconds, and it now deals 5 hits to all enemies in the path. The cooldown remains 10.43 seconds. Shadow realizes that the cooldown time hasn't changed, finding it a bit annoying, but understands that only by using instant Shadow Slash can he become directly invisible. Shadow is looking at the system. He thinks that the rest of the items he picked up are worthless, but the silver level warrior skill book Battle Roar might be sellable for some money. Suddenly he hears a loud noise. The scene changes and shows 3 monsters, Red and Spider, like descended out in the middle of the rainy forest. The character identifies the creatures as level 4 limb striders. He thinks that the time is perfect and that he will use these monsters to test the power of instant Shadow Slash. Shadow uses the instant Shadow Slash skill, and blue energy rays cut through the red monsters, and the creatures are completely torn apart. A system message box appears on the screen. It says Yobi kill MBS starter LV, Yo get an EXP, Yo do 5 spada BBL. It confirms that Shadow used the skill and killed a limb strider, gaining experience and lifespan. It confirms that Shadow used the skill and killed a limb strider, gaining experience and lifespan. The player is now standing and amidst the remains of the fight. He is surrounded by traces of purple energy and the pieces of the limb striders. He thinks killing monsters has gotten faster again. If I use poison dart, I only need 2 darts to kill a monster. He also notes the fight time has decreased, and this reduces the chance of trouble. He thinks about his situation and calculates. Now I have 618 days of treadable lifespan, but to bring my equipment and skills to reality, I need to use at least 2.5 years of treadable lifespan. To be exact, I need 900 days. Shadow decides what he will do next and thinks, I'll go back first and sell everything I have in my bag. Maybe I can get enough to have the minimum lifespan I need. And with a determined look, he thinks about the future. When I reach level 10, I will be able to bring skills and equipment from the game into real life. While Qianfeng was lost in his thoughts, suddenly a voice resonated from the distance. Congratulations, miss, for reaching level 3. It's time for you to fulfill your promise. It turned out to be Lisi and Mao Luan who had also arrived. Lisi, upon hearing Mao Luan's question, replied enthusiastically, Don't worry, the High-End Corporation never runs short. Let's get back to reality. Here's my phone number. You can contact me directly. Oh, by the way, sell me all your exchangeable life years. I'll pay you 10,000 for each day. Mao Leighton, upon hearing the offer, smiled in satisfaction and responded joyfully, no problem. Haha, as I said, Shadow is a blind idiot. Even a businesswoman like you doesn't hold him in high regard. After closing the deal, Lisi immediately left. See you in reality. Mao Leighton stayed behind with a crafty look and a sly smile. In his mind, he mocked, so what if this game actually affects life expectancy? Life years can be gained anytime. Only those who know how to turn their skills in the game into money, like me, are the truly smart ones. Meanwhile, Qunimfeng also quickly returned to the village. He walked alone toward the tower, feeling a powerful presence ahead of him. He couldn't help but be surprised and thought, so this is how the instant teleportation in the newbie village has been activated. The notification immediately echoed, congratulations, you have activated instant teleportation in the newbie village. You've earned a reputation point. Now you can use 1 free teleportation per day. Additional teleportations will consume exchangeable life years. No other teleportation has been activated in the city of Haiyan. After reading the notification, Quen Fenji became thoughtful. The instant teleportation in the starting village only allows travel in 2 directions. Activating it on one side is useless until someone on the other end also reaches the 10 level and turns it on. She remembered that in her past life, Sanfei was in the village of the Fireflies. There, she could set up an alert if someone activated the teleportation. She would be the first to know. However, traveling between villages in this early stage was not too important. My priority is to reach level 10 and then head to the Forgotten Continent, where the real divine game begins. After making her decision, Qi and Fenge headed back to the commercial district to sell part of her equipment. Equipment and skills for sale only for 10 minutes? If you want to buy, hurry up. The village was filled with murmurs and excitement. Oh my god, the great master, the shadow, has appeared again. He has finally arrived. I'd prepared 150 days of exchangeable life. I was just waiting for the Great Master to bring more equipment. The last time, the Great Master sold the Ice Dagger technique, which allowed Rosa Grizz to jump straight to second place in the rankings. I hope this time he has some mage skill books. Wow, are there really skill books? But it's just a silver rank warrior skill book called Crimson Sword. Suddenly, someone from the back of the crowd became excited and rushed forward, eagerly lifting the skill book. I want to buy this Crimson Sword. The notification appeared immediately. Transaction completed. You've received 300 days of exchangeable life. Seeing this, someone from outside murmured in disbelief. 300 days of exchangeable life for just a skill book. Is it worth it? Such a narrow mind. Someone else replied, a warrior with this skill will double their speed in killing monsters. Those 300 days can be recovered in just 2 days. Thus, the objects continued to sell quickly in a fierce competition among the villagers. I want that cloak. Want those boots? That one's mine. In a matter of seconds, all transactions were completed. Fen reviewed the information in the system, evaluating his earnings. In less than a minute, everything was sold. In total, the objects I sold this time amounted to 50 days of exchangeable life. Now I have 274 accumulated days, but it's still not enough. If I want to extract levels, attributes, classes, equipment, and skills from the Divine Abandoned game and bring them into the real world, I'm still far from achieving that. Around him, several players who hadn't been able to buy anything were crying in frustration. I failed the game at 2. Please sell more next time, I beg you, Great Master. Will you be selling here again next time? At that moment, Dale-sai ran up excitedly from a distance, shouting, Great Master, I have a treasure, do you want it? Having said this, she took out a ring and shouted to Fen. The item information immediately appeared. Dimensional ring adds 2 storage slots without occupying an equipment slot or backpack space. Upon seeing the ring, Feng was completely astonished and thought to himself, a dimensional ring is a special storage item with immense value, as it doesn't take up space in the backpack or in the equipment slot. Each player can only carry up to 3 storage backpacks, so this type of item is incredibly valuable. Although it can drop from any monster, the drop rate is extremely low. This seer must have had incredible luck to obtain it so early. In my past life, a 2-slot dimensional ring like this would sell for more than 600 days of exchangeable life. After thinking for a moment, Fen cautiously asked, How do you plan to sell it, Dale-C? With a sincere smile, Dale-sai replied, I don't want the exchangeable life of the Great Master. I just want to be your friend and have you help us defeat a boss. Upon hearing this, Fen agreed without hesitation and pressed the button to accept the friendship request in the system. Player Dale-sai has accepted your friendship request. From now on, Dale-sai is officially your friend. As Fen walked ahead, he asked curiously, What boss is it? What's its name? Dale-sai, following him, quickly responded, It's just a gold-rank boss. Nothing too special. It's quite far, but you can see an abandoned barge in the swamp. It looks in very poor condition. Hearing this, the image of a boss from his past life appeared in Fenji's mind. A ruined boat in the swamp? Could it be the gold-rank ghost ship? The gold-rank ghost ship was a rare and special boss that could appear at any level, but with an extremely low spawn rate. Moreover, it had the ability to drop rare and valuable items that could change the course of a battle whenever a ghost ship of golden rank appeared. Guild wars would break out mercilessly over the fight for its rewards. The fact that the ghost ship of golden rank had spawned in a level 5 village meant that, in this state, it was easier to defeat. To find it so soon in a small village and on top of that, get a rare dimensional ring. And as if that weren't enough, she was part of the Wong Men group. Could it be that she is Hin, the legendary golden carp from my past life? To confirm his theory, Fen looked at Daisy and asked, How did you discover this golden rank boss? Daisy, remembering what had happened, responded, After logging out to have dinner, I wanted to reconnect quickly to level up with the captain and the others, but they took too long to get online. Since I had nothing to do, I decided to explore, and that's when I found the golden rank boss under a cliff. Upon hearing this, Fenji became even more convinced of his suspicion and thought to himself, In my past life, I heard rumors about a member of the Wong Men team who looked like a golden carp. Every time they wandered through nature, they would always come across hidden treasures or secret dungeon bosses. At first, I thought it was just a rumor created by the government to cover up confidential information, but it's real. It's definitely her. Seeing that Fenji had been silent for a while, Daisy began to look at him curiously and asked, Grandmaster, why are you staring at me like that? Daisy's words immediately brought him back to reality. Coldly, he replied, It's nothing. At that moment, behind a nearby wall, a man was secretly eavesdropping on their conversation. He hurriedly ran to inform the group leader, Boss, that kid is taking a girl out of the village, he urgently reported. Meanwhile, the group leader, who was in the middle of his speech, said proudly, I remember the days when I led my brothers to conquer supremacy in Sand City. Don't worry, if you follow me, I guarantee you'll have good food and quality clothes. Upon hearing the news from his subordinate, the leader's face took on a cunning expression, and he smiled maliciously. So this kid can't resist anymore and is starting to take girls with him? How right, let's follow him, boys. At the same time, Fen and Daisy had already left the village. Fen with a serious tone proposed, I can help you defeat him. If the boss drops any equipment or skill books that you can use, I'll give them to you, but the rest will be mine. What do you think? Daisy, a little surprised, responded, And what about the Wong Men team? She then accepted Fen's offer, but with one request. Alright, let's do it your way, but can I ask you for something small? Fen, intrigued, asked, Your team has several professions. If assassin equipment drops, then I'd be wasting my time. What do you mean? Daisy, embarrassed, proposed, If you sell the items to BUM and their team, give them a small discount. After hearing her request, Fen accepted without hesitation. No problem. Daisy then turned to him and asked, So, we'll go after the Captain Wong logs in. By the way, Grandmaster, where are we going now? Fen answered coldly, We're heading to hunt a golden rank boss. Upon hearing this, Daisy's face immediately darkened, and she trembled with fear. Grandmaster, you're an assassin, but I'm a mage. You can turn invisible, but how am I supposed to survive? Noticing her concern, Fen reassured her, I'm enough. You just need to watch from a safe place. Daisy, completely stunned, could only let out a small sound, her body trembling as she tightly gripped her staff. She thought, a single man hunting a golden rank boss? Even though I know the Grandmaster is very strong, this is too much. While Daisy was still processing what she had just heard, Fen suddenly disappeared in front of her. Surprised, she looked around and shouted, "Grandmaster, where are you?" From behind some nearby trees, the group that had been spying on them up until now saw Qn Fenji disappear. One of the henchmen exclaimed in surprise, "Boss, the guy called the shadow disappeared." The boss, with a confident expression, laughed loudly. "Haha, he tricked her and left her alone in the middle of this wilderness. Let's capture her and have a little fun first." He then added arrogantly, Told if you follow my lead, I guarantee a life of luxury. Look, there she is, right in front of us." Upon hearing this, the group that accompanied him got excited and started praising him. "Boss, you're incredibly smart." However, the group had barely taken a few steps when Qn Fenji's blurry silhouette appeared, blocking their path. At that moment, they still didn't understand what was about to happen, and with faces full of excitement, they observed the scene without worry. But moments later, countless dark shadows emerged around them, enveloping them in a dense black fog. Before they could react, Qn Fenji activated Shadow Transit and launched a series of consecutive attacks against them. In a matter of seconds, the entire group was annihilated. The system announced, "You have eliminated 5 players and obtained a total of 12 days of life." Watching as the bodies of his victims faded into nothing, Qn Fenji narrowed his eyes and murmured with disdain, "Poor fools, killing 2 small monsters would have given me more rewards." After that, Qn Fen returned to Daisy. Upon seeing him, she was ecstatic and exclaimed, "Grandmaster? Where did you go just now?" He responded calmly, "There were some people following us. I've already sent them back to the rookie village." Daily, surprised, let out a do and then, intrigued, continued asking, "I thought it was the Grand Master." Suddenly, as if recalling something important, she exclaimed excitedly, "Oh, of course, the Grand Master. Now that you have the Shadow Stealth ability, it means you can go to the bathroom anytime and anywhere without anyone seeing you. Wait, if you relieve yourself while using Shadow Stealth, does it also become invisible?" Without even bothering to respond to her absurd question, he spoke in a serious tone. "Take me to see the gold rank chief," he mentioned. The system interface transported the girl to an unknown village. Staring at the scepter in her hands, she was completely stunned. As she walked, she examined the weapon carefully and exclaimed, "Wow, this is incredible." The nearby villagers whispered among themselves, "Another new player has arrived." Seeing the scepter in her hands, the girl smiled excitedly and said, "This is amazing. I've obtained the hidden life healer profession. It must be one of the most powerful ones." Immediately, her mind filled with thoughts of Sun Fei. How is Sun Fei doing now? Does he know the secret of how to distribute the initial points correctly? But in the midst of her excitement, she suddenly remembered Tian Feng, and her expression darkened. "That idiot Feng. Where has he gone? He spends all day trying to control me, but when it really matters, he's never reliable." She shook her head with disdain and convinced herself that she no longer needed to worry about him. "Fine, Feng, do whatever you want. Now that I have a hidden profession and Sanwei promised to help me level up, I don't need to care about you at all." A moment later, a player ranking appeared on her screen. Looking at the list, she was stunned. This is a ranking. As her eyes scanned the list, she couldn't help but gasp in surprise. Wow, Shadow is in first place and already level 6. Her shock grew even more when she noticed that Sui was only level 3. How could he brag so much about his strength when he's only level 3? Little by little, her perspective shifted. Shadow is the real leader of this world. With a determined look, she told herself, if I can get Shadow to help me, I'll be able to level up much faster than with Sanwei. But then she stopped and thought out loud, where can I find Shadow? At that moment, she noticed a group of young players in the distance, murmuring among themselves. The black-haired boy spoke to the other two with frustration. "Ooh, I can't contact Xiao Fei Feng, we don't have time to wait. Does anyone have any ideas?" The gray-haired boy crossed his arms and replied, "We can't hunt monsters without a healer." The blonde boy nodded and added, "We're not the Shadow to play solo. I'd say we should find a new healer to operate." Upon hearing their conversation, a young woman had an idea. She approached him with a polite smile and said, "Hello, are you looking for a healer? I'm a life healer." Elsewhere in a dark and deep forest between the Qunfeng Mountains, Qunfeng watched intently as a strange ship floated in the middle of the lake. He murmured with determination, "So it really is the Golden Phantom ship." Without hesitation, he jumped straight into the void. But before leaping, he gave instructions to his companion. "Stay here and remain hidden. Be careful not to let anyone attack you by surprise. I'll take care of the boss." The girl quickly nodded and replied with concern, "Understood, Grand Master. Be careful." As soon as Qinfeng landed, the system issued a warning. Due to the influence of the Phantom ship, this area has become a frenzy zone. The life expectancy consumption rate in this area is 100 times higher. Reading this, Qinfeng thought to himself, the time speed in this zone has multiplied by 100. If I stay here for 15 minutes, I'll lose an entire day of life expectancy. But the impact of this temporary frenzy zone isn't too overwhelming. A moment later, the system continued sending notifications. Phantom ship gold rank, special gold rank category, 45 minutes. A time limit has been activated. Confident, Qinfeng murmured, "This special boss only appears for a limited time. Fortunately, there are still 45 minutes left. If I finish it quickly, I'll have time to spare." Immediately, Qunfeng activated Shadowbreaker Supreme Strike, hitting the monster instantly and dealing 549 damage. Then he used his ultimate technique, Extreme Poison Needle, combining it with Shadowbreaker Supreme Strike, fusing both techniques to attack the enemy's weak points, causing 21 damage. As the battle raged on against the gold rank Phantom ship, Qunfeng discovered several difficulties in defeating it. First, most people didn't know its weak point. Some thought it was in the ship's skeleton. Others believed it was in the hull, but the real weakness was in the bow bell. Second, when the bell was attacked, the ship could control the surrounding water and launch area attacks. The damage from these water columns was extremely high. In the early stages, only warriors equipped with silver tier armor could barely withstand it. Fortunately, the assassin class had a high initial speed, allowing them to dodge the attacks. Otherwise, it would have been nearly impossible to evade them. Third, after completing its long-range attack, the ghost ship would summon 2 corrupted water specters onto the battlefield. Each of these specters had the strength of a silver tier boss. At this point, most teams would fall into chaos. Additionally, every 3 minutes, the gold tier ghost ship would summon a new corrupted water specter. If they weren't eliminated in time, they would keep accumulating, eventually leading to teams' total annihilation. However, Tifang smiled confidently. I'm always in stealth, so these specters won't be able to find me. I just need to position myself at the right angle, and I can take them out in a single strike. From a distance, witnessing Qunfeng's power, Black Chrome Bolin couldn't help but exclaim in amazement. This is truly the Shadow, the #1 in the rankings. This is too powerful. He appears and disappears like a ghost. The boss has already lost a third of its health and hasn't even had a chance to counterattack. It seemed the battle would end in an instant, but suddenly Qunfeng shouted loudly, I'm gonna die. Black Chrome Bolin, surprised, asked in alarm, what did you just say? However, Qunfeng simply responded calmly, you don't have to do anything, just wait for me to revive. Black Chrome Bolin, completely confused, cried out in desperation, why? The Shadow has the advantage right now. And what the hell is Xiao? Hearing her reaction, Qunfeng frowned and asked, you're not Xiao. The indignant girl yelled back, my name is Black Chrome Bolin, not Xiao, and besides, DLC isn't Xiao either. That sounds like a dog's name. Finding the name too long, Qunfeng simply replied indifferently, understood, Xiao. Meanwhile, not far from there, a group of men was fiercely chasing 2 people. Their leader, realizing that the girl had escaped, became furious and roared, damn it, we let our guard down. Back in my glory days, I won multiple championships in the sabak competitions. I was a legend. How is it possible that some brat is making a fool out of me? Shortly after, one of his subordinates ran up with an urgent report, boss, we found the girl. She's at the edge of the cliff, and that shadow bastard is fighting a vase alone at the foot of the precipice. Upon hearing this, the leader of the group flashed a cruel smile and arrogantly commanded, let's go. This time I've gathered all our men. I don't believe we can't kill him. As for Qunfeng, after overcoming the 3 previous challenges, he encountered another obstacle that gave him a massive headache. He knew that the 4th and most difficult trial was that the Golden Ghost ship would release a powerful wave of spiritual energy over a vast area, forcing everyone present to become paralyzed in place. I can't escape now in that case, Qunfeng thought, deciding once again to sacrifice himself along with the creature. The system emitted a series of notifications. You have died. You have lost 26 years of non-exchangeable life. You've died. You have lost 187 days of exchangeable life. Seeing that Qunfeng had been eliminated, the enemy group's leader burst into laughter and exclaimed, ha ha ha, this is great, that fool. Just because they called him a grandmaster, he got so arrogant that he dared to challenge a gold boss alone. Then, shifting his gaze toward the Golden Ghost ship, he said to his subordinates, damn, that shadow guy was really loaded. That massive light orb must be worth at least hundreds of days of life. Let's go, guys. The boss has only half his life left. This is our chance to kill him. Upon hearing this, the rest of the group erupted in excitement. Ha ha, we can still score a huge haul of life force. He only lost half his life. This big dog deserved it. Today the pup is going to eat the big dog. As they celebrated with enthusiasm, a massive portal suddenly appeared in the sky, surrounding them with an aura of unease and fear. The group was sent back to the village, and everyone, furious, cursed out loud, damn it, how can that boss be so strong? How did the shadow cut his health in half? This is insane, it's completely illogical. We barely stepped into the swamp, and we were already dead from a water column. Dude, damn it, we've lost too much. Come on, we have to go back. There are still a bunch of small monsters out there. How are we supposed to fight now? I can't believe this is so ridiculously difficult. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon above the swamp's surface, glowing longevity spheres began to appear. Qunfeng, upon seeing them, was very surprised and approached to examine them. After a moment, he asked aloud, confused, Lai, I'm back. Why are there so many longevity spheres here? Lai, standing on a nearby boat, shouted excitedly upon seeing him return, Great Lord, you're back. A moment ago, a group of people came running, but they were all wiped out by the water columns. Hearing that, Qunfeng's eyes gleamed with contemplation. I see, haha, they had no idea what they were getting into. As he recalled his past life, he thought, I struggled a lot with this gold-ranked ghost ship back then. It can only use its immobilization ability once, so once its health drops to half, it becomes relatively easy to defeat. However, when its HP reaches 50%, there's a chance it will disappear and reappear in another area, making it difficult for normal players to take it down. Lost in thought, Qunfeng suddenly saw the silhouette of the gold-ranked ghost ship reappear in the distance. His eyes turned cold and ruthless. Without hesitation, he activated his toxic fury and unleashed a barrage of projectiles toward the orb on the ship's deck. The flying daggers cut through the air at high speed, striking the sphere directly. Suddenly, a surge of Yuri pink energy radiated from the gold-ranked ghost ship, enveloping the entire swamp. Tianfeng, as if already anticipating this, remained in a combat-ready stance, his eyes following every movement of the energy flow with full concentration. With a satisfied smirk, he thought, I've already figured out its movement pattern. Seeing the perfect moment, he launched his attack, using Shadow Break's Supreme Strike, relentlessly slashing at the gold-ranked ghost ship. Upon witnessing this scene, the rowdy group at the swamp's edge was thrown into total panic. Boss, look at that! That brat is attacking the boss again. Perfect, let's wait for the right moment to take them out. Meanwhile, on the opposite shore, Lazy also noticed the presence of that group. With fury in his eyes, he thought, those idiots again. Damn them, they only come to cause trouble. The Great Lord is about to take down the boss. I can't let those bastards ruin this. With that, he began chanting a spell while channeling energy into his magic staff. Immediately, bolts of lightning crackled from the staff. Then, raising both arms high into the sky, he shouted, "Gods, let there be thunder and lightning today!" A massive surge of power erupted from the staff, shooting straight toward the enemy group. In an instant, 2 of them were struck by lightning and completely obliterated. Seeing their teammates vanish before their eyes, the rest were left utterly terrified. They began to look around desperately and shout, "Ah, whoever the hell is attacking us? Boss, it's a mage. She's on the other side." At that moment, the boss had already identified Lei, glaring at her furiously. He roared, "Bitch! Do you want to die? Kill her now." Upon seeing his reaction, Lei was terrified. She gripped her magic staff tightly with both hands and immediately spun on her heels to flee. Behind her, the group chased fiercely, shouting, "Stop! We're gonna kill you!" Meanwhile, in the distance, 2 mysterious figures were hiding behind a tree, silently observing. As for Kunfeng, after launching a series of abilities, he had already significantly reduced the boss's health. He observed the weakening resistance of the gold, rank ghost ship and sighed in relief. Finally, it's about to die. No wonder, even though it's just a level C boss, defeating it alone is still quite difficult. My damage is still too low, which has dragged this battle on for too long, attracting others' attention. Even though he was focused on eliminating the boss, Kunfeng never stopped watching his surroundings. He had already noticed the presence of other enemies and thought, there's a group of people up on the cliff. Looks like they're the ones who recently died. Plus, there's another group by the swamp. They seem to be waiting for me to defeat the boss, then kill me and steal the loot. Good plan, but unfortunately they miscalculated. To finish off the boss completely, Kunfeng used his ultimate skill, Shadow Stealth, delivering the final blow. A notification quickly appeared. You have slain the gold rank ghost ship. You have received 4,800 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 80. Congratulations, you have received 7 evolution points. You have gained 2 16 days of negotiable lifespan. Player Shadow from Seashell Village has become the first on the server to defeat a gold rank boss and has earned 3 reputation points. This information spread rapidly among all the players in the village, leaving them completely stunned. A gold rank boss first kill. Is Shadow a demon or what? How can he be this powerful? Which country is he from originally? Seashell Village. The first person to kill a gold rank boss must undoubtedly be an expert from our South Korea. Not long ago, there was a notification saying Shadow could solo a silver rank boss, and now he has already killed a gold rank boss alone. How can there be such a huge difference between one person and another? Meanwhile, Tian Wu, upon hearing the news, felt a bit uneasy. He furrowed his brows, thinking, that guy's Shadow is really impressive. If he could help me level up quickly, I could reunite with Sunfei soon. At the same time, on Qinfeng's side, after the gold rank ghost ship was defeated, many items began to drop all over the place. However, Qinfeng was no longer there. Seeing this, a guild that had been lying in ambush in the area laughed excitedly. Ha ha! This boss really dropped a ton of valuable items. That guy ran away and didn't pick up anything at all. He must have been scared of us. Aging, use your skill to find him. Kill him. We'll take all the loot from the gold rank boss. Upon receiving the order, the player behind responded immediately. With that, he took a step forward and fired a green energy arrow into the sky. Soon after, the image of a giant hawk with outstretched wings appeared in the air. It was the Phantom Soul Eagle. With its sharp vision, the hawk scanned the area, searching for Qinfeng's position. From within his stealth mode, Qinfeng watched as the hawk's wings sliced through the sky. Gradually, he realized the imminent danger. However, he showed no concern. Instead, he remained confident as he thought, Phantom Soul Eagle. I didn't expect this hunter to have learned a camouflage detection skill so quickly. No wonder he's so sure he can kill me and take the loot. Too bad for him. My dark class has level 11 stealth and level 100 detection resistance. No one can see through my concealment. After a while, with no results, a member of the group returned to report. Boss, there's no one here. That brat must have run away after seeing us together. Hearing this, the leader smiled in satisfaction. At least he was smart enough to run. Then, with full confidence, he led the way toward the dropped items. Let's collect the loot, guard it, and be ready for battle at any moment. The boss loot protection time is 5 minutes. After that, the items are ours. Hearing this, the other members of the group cheered and burst into laughter as if they had already won. However, their joy didn't last long. Suddenly, countless energy projectiles shot out of nowhere, repeatedly striking their bodies. Qinfeng's blurry figure appeared from behind, and without much effort, the group was quickly wiped out. Tianfeng calmly looked at the items before him and let out a cold snort. This place is much quieter now. Then he suddenly remembered Dai Li and wondered, where did that girl go? Guess I'll look for her later. The remaining evolution points, along with the boss's reward, only allow me to evolve the greedy hand one more time. First, I'll upgrade the skill, then I'll loot the corpses. Having said that, he extended his hand forward to evolve the new skill. A notification echo. Greedy Hand has evolved from Diamond rank to Divine Crystal rank. Assassin Profession skill. Additional loot probably increased from 220% to 300%. The additional loot now has a 100% chance of being upgraded by 1 level. After reading the notification, Qinfeng reflected, a 100% chance to increase a level. This changes everything completely. I'm gonna make all those light spheres explode to the max. After activating the new Greedy Hand skill, he extended his hand and collected all the loot he could. Laughing with joy, he exclaimed, "How? Bring it all in!" In the middle of the forest, a great energy was unleashed, and notifications kept ringing. You have used the Greedy Hand skill. You have received 7 evolution points. You have received 7 evolution points. You have received 7 evolution points. You have received 2 16 days of transferable longevity. You have received 2 16 days of transferable longevity. You have received 2 16 days of transferable longevity. You have received the special item Demonic Fire Spirit. You have received the special item Demonic Fire Spirit. While holding the Demonic Fire Spirit in his hand, Qunfeng couldn't hide his excitement and exclaimed enthusiastically, "I can't believe I got 2 Demonic Fire Spirits at once." The information about the Demonic Fire Spirit appeared. Demonic Fire Bell special item. Effect: while carrying it, you won't lose longevity upon death. This effect has a cooldown of 1865 seconds. Soul Absorption's passive: when killing a demonic entity, the probability of gaining longevity increases by 20%. If you carry 2 bells at the same time, the effect doubles. Spiritual Terror activate: when shaking the Demonic Fire Bell, all enemies within a 100 radius will be immobilized for 3 seconds. Cooldown 600 seconds. After reading all the information about Demonic Fire Spirit, Qunfeng felt even more excited. He thought to himself, this bell doesn't count as equipment but as a special item. It doesn't take up an equipment slot, and carrying 2 bells only takes 1 slot in my backpack. This is really convenient. While he was completely immersed in thoughts about his new gains, he suddenly heard Dale's terrified voice screaming, "Grandmaster! Grandmaster! Help me! Ah! What are you guys doing? Don't come near me!" Upon hearing that, Qunfeng was startled. His gaze turned serious and concerned as he shouted loudly. Observing his surroundings carefully, Qunfeng searched for signs of life. He asked aloud, "Xia, where are you?" Meanwhile, Hindley's voice echoed again, filled with despair. She shouted, "You all stay away! Don't come near!" Surrounded by a group of hostile men, Jinyi faced a dangerous situation. They stared at her with threatening looks and said, "Your resistance is over. Come here obediently. We promise you'll have fun." Frightened, Hindley cast a quick glance at a deep crack in the ground. Suddenly, deciding her fate, she let herself fall. Open-mouthed, the men watched her body descend slowly. Upon hitting the ground, the impact cracked the earth, spreading blood around as her form began to fade. Stunned, the group's leader exclaimed, "She really jumped. That girl has guts." Elsewhere, Qunfeng heard Li's voice resonate in his mind. She said, "Great master, no need to rescue me. I've already died and returned the village. What pain. But luckily all our team's interchangeable lifespan stayed with Captain Wang Meng." Calmly, he replied, "All right, stay in the village waiting for me. I'll bring the equipment when I return." Grateful, Hindley responded, "Thank you, great master. It's been very tough for you." Sighing in relief, Qunfeng finished gathering the battle items. Satisfied, he thought that this time he had earned a valuable reward. With his interchangeable lifespan now at 3,500 days, he also had 21 evolution points. He then decided to upgrade the Greedy Hand skill. As soon as the system displayed the message, a surprise struck him. The skill had reached the Hexecutor level, but evolving it again would require 210 points. Reflecting on the cost, he murmured, "The higher the level, the more points it demands. Better to invest in damage skills to take down bosses and get good items." Spending 3 plus 5 evolution points, Qunfeng saw Shadow Thunder rise from Platinum to Emerald, then to Diamond in an instant. The skill allowed him to advance from 21 to 27 meters, entering stealth for up to 9 seconds. Executing from 5 to 9 slashes on enemies in his path, each strike boosted the attack by up to 300 points. The cooldown dropped to 10.43 seconds, with a slash range reaching 4.1 meters. Then, consuming another 2, 3, and 5 points, he was left with just 3. The enhanced back attack skill evolved from common to bronze, then silver, and finally gold, increasing damage by up to 30% when attacking from behind. Feeling power flow through his body, Qunfeng exclaimed mentally, 2 evolutions double Shadow Thunder's damage. Even without stealth, I can deal 3,000 damage, and with Shadowbreaker from behind, I could hit 7,000. Thanks to Greedy Hand, gold rank bosses now yielded 11 items of the same rank, several skill books, 2 platinum items, and 1 platinum skill book. He thought, not bad at all. Among the items, 3 caught his eye for the assassin profession. The Ghost Ship Dual Sword. Platinum rank offered 136 attack, 2 agility, 24% speed, and 17 armor penetration. Analyzing the special effect, he concluded, double damage on basic attacks doesn't help me much, but the agility and penetration are valuable. Equipping the Infernal Fire Armor, gold rank, Qunfeng gained 25 physical defense, 50 fire resistance, 14 damage block, and 419 life. Surprised, he noticed his 350 life points were now well protected. Satisfied, he smiled and said, "I'll hide the equipment. The default assassin appearance keeps others from seeing my items without opening the interface." There was still 1 skill book left, Diffuse Ghostly Shadow. Gold rank, upon learning it, evasion rose 15%, making him immune to damage when triggered. Amazed, Qunfeng exclaimed, "Finally an assassin system skill, but I know evasion is hard to boost without sacrificing other stats." Confident, he thought, "I'm not like the others. My skills evolve endlessly. I can pump evasion without losses. It's a clear advantage." Resolved, he decided to return to the village. The remaining items for warrior, priest, and archer would be sold to Wang Meng with a 10% discount. Walking back, Qunfeng stumbled upon a group of bandits. Perplexed, both sides stared at each other until the men screamed in terror and fled. "It's the Shadow. Run, don't face him." Watching their escape, he let out a cold snort. He passed by them at such high speed they had no chance to react. Believing he had escaped, the bandit leader relaxed, but Qin Feng appeared right in front of him, causing him to fall to his knees, begging, "Forgive me, great lord, I only have 1 year of life left." With an icy gaze, Qin Feng asked, "Did you think of that when you were hurting others?" Then he launched a poison needle, leaving him to die in agony. Soon after, the system notified, "For killing many players, you've gained the butcher status. Upon dying, you'll lose 75% of your tradable lifespan." Feeling the murderous aura grow, he saw the butcher title appear above his head. Fearless, he thought, "No matter, I have the ghost fire bell. I won't lose a single day if I die." Arriving at Concha City, Qin Feng drew surprised looks from the players. Some whispered, "The Shadow returned after beating a gold rank boss, but why doesn't he show good gear?" Suddenly someone approached and said, "Great Lord Shadow, please stop." Offering a skill book, he continued, "It was us who messed up before. Accept this as an apology." Receiving sneak attack, common rank, Qin Feng asked, "A control skill. With 20 attack and 2 seconds of stun, he stored it and walked away." Furious, the man's companions complained, "He killed us and you still gave him a book. Isn't that cowardice?" Another added, "We should gather everyone and take him down." Raising his hand, Xiano silenced them. "You don't get it. The Shadow grows too fast. He must have a secret. We'll find him in real life and turn him into our slave." Laughing wickedly, he planned, "I'll ask the family for a woman to seduce him. He won't resist a beauty at his door." Meanwhile, Qin Feng was already meeting Jin Li. Pointing at her, he said, "Come on, Xiaowei, accept the trade. I've got stuff for you." Correcting him with joy, she replied, "I'm not Xiaowei, I'm Jin Li, thanks boss." Upon receiving the items, she exclaimed, "My damage and recovery doubled. This is amazing." "Calm," he retorted. "No need for formality. Hand me the dimensional ring as promised." She passed it, saying, "Here you go." Curious, Jin Li asked, "Big boss, I found a cave in the forest. It looked like the entrance to ruins. Want to explore?" Surprised, Qin Feng thought, first the ghost ship, now ruins. Helping this girl really paid off. With the ring, his inventory rose to 27 slots. After thinking, he asked, "Where's Wang Ming? I'll sell the rest and explore the ruins with you." Showing the map, she explained, "The captain returns in an hour. I marked the entrance a stone slab behind bushes. I hid there to escape, but heard ghosts and ran." Nodding, Qin Feng said, "I head to the ruins now, then trade with Wang Ming later." Using Shadow Shield, he vanished, leaving Jin Li confused. Rushing at high speed, he thought, "I was going to train to level up, but the ruins are better. Whether tombs, cursed, or shrines, it's a sea of lifespan and points." Descending the steps calmly, Qin Feng reflected on what awaited him. Upon entering the relic, he knew that 3 main types of locations would appear in the initial village: the ancient tomb, the relic, and the temple of faith. Filled with demonic creatures, the ancient tombs offered nothing valuable. Facing them was a tough task, and in the end, a gold-ranked boss almost always awaited the challengers. Meanwhile, the cursed relics carried the weight of curses cast by ancient gods, some house beings that were once human, others had gone mad, and there were those who, after death, became demonic monsters. As for the temples of faith, they sheltered followers of ancient or dark deities. With confusing and intricate maps, these places promised rare rewards, like special items or skill books, to those who overcame their challenges. Observing the drawings carved on the stone walls, he murmured to himself. The images seemed familiar, leading him to conclude that this was a temple of faith, likely one that judged the ancient gods. Suddenly, a scream echoed through the air. Qin Feng, still in silence, thought that the place, along with the Eye of Judgment he carried, must be tied to something special. In another corner, lost in the forest, 1 man struggled in battle. A creature attacked him relentlessly until, with a violent blow, he was thrown into the air, spitting blood. Desperate, one of his companions shouted to Tianu, 1 man's sister. She needed to use a heal quickly, but paralyzed by fear, the young girl only let out a shrill scream. While the other young man scolded her, Tianu trembled uncontrollably. "I know, but I don't know what to do," she exclaimed, until the creature attacked again, and the swordsman yelled once more, demanding a skill. Terrified, she crouched down and burst into tears. With fear overtaking her, she couldn't react, and in moments the entire group was wiped out. Sometime later, reviving in Shell City, they wore faces heavy with frustration. Heine Lei, seeing them, waved cheerfully but soon noticed the tense atmosphere. "Why are you back so soon?" Heine asked, still smiling. The captain, Grand La Sombra, wasn't there, and the equipment hadn't been bought yet. Pointing at Tianu, one of the group exploded in anger. He called her useless, unable to dodge or use skills, while Heine approached to calm things down. Trying to soothe them, Heine argued that it was normal to die the first time, but the swordsman, furious, raised 3 fingers, saying that because of her, they had died 3 times in less than an hour. Surprised, Heine changed the subject with composure. Showing off a necklace, she announced that she was now stronger, thanks to 2 items received from Grand La Sombra, and promised that with her on the team, no one would die. Hearing this, De Meng stepped in firmly. He supported Heine's proposal, believing that with her, the group would succeed, and they might even run into Grand La Sombra on the way back. Head bowed, Tianu apologized in a low voice. Inside, though, she boiled with rage, thinking that the others acted superior just because of their connection to Grand La Sombra. On the other side, Qunfeng walked through the relic, alert to the details. A sudden noise made him stop, and before him appeared corpses kneeling, as if in prayer. Identified as faithful devotee of the ancient god. Level 10, silver rank, they were under divine judgment. With disdain, Qunfeng used Shadow Break and Supreme Strike, sliding with Shadow Thunder to attack them. Even landing precise blows from behind, their health bars barely moved. Surprised, he noted that 2 of these devotees had more endurance than the gold rank boss from the ghost ship. Noticing something odd, Qunfeng analyzed the situation. The enemies, still kneeling, seemed to stare at him, even though he was in stealth, which led him to think they sensed the energy of the Eye of Judgment. Testing his theory, he spoke firmly. "You know the way?" Right? The monsters raised their heads, roaring loudly, but their expressions showed they were already fully corrupted wild beasts. In an instant, the devotees lunged at a group of players who had just entered. One of them shouted in panic, warning about the 2 silver rank bosses, and urged everyone to run. Hidden in stealth, Qunfeng watched the battle. The group was quickly slaughtered, leaving 3 items on the ground, which he recognized as belonging to the team of a girl named Rosagris. Approaching the dropped items, he laughed loudly. Among them were over 100 days of negotiable longevity, an unexpected treasure that made him think that girl was a walking fortune. Exploring the rest of the relic, Qunfeng sighed with boredom. There were no traps or chests, just the 2 silver rank devotees, prompting him to decide to finish it once and for all. With determination, he launched 2 extreme poison needles. Hitting the devotees in the head, he eliminated them instantly, and the system announced his victory, granting 4,000 experience points. Rising to level 9, he received 4 evolution points. On top of that, he gained 188 days of negotiable longevity, which left him even more excited. Summoning the Greedy Hand, an epic level skill, Qunfeng was impressed. It brought 32 evolution points, 15.4 days of longevity, 4 gold rank items, and 10 silver rank ones. Among the rewards stood out the Devotee's Necklace, gold rank, exclusive to assassins, with agility plus 15 and 20% cooldown reduction. The item also allowed summoning a silver rank devotee to fight for him. Equipping the necklace, he noticed the difference right away. The cooldown times of his skills dropped, making him far more efficient against monsters, which pleased him. Examining the other items, all level 8 or higher, Qunfeng decided to keep them. At that stage of the game, only he could use them, so he planned to sell them later for a good price. Suddenly, a noise behind him caught his attention. A pillar emerged from the ground, and, using shadow stealth, he observed it silently, confirming that only by clearing the monsters would the mechanism activate. Satisfied with his discovery, Qunfeng smiled. The temple revealed its secrets little by little, and he knew he was on the right path to uncovering something greater. Looking at the stone pillar, Tianfeng silently thought it was a hidden mechanism. Suddenly, the pillar made a clack sound and then began to move slowly. Watching it descend, Qunfeng wondered, is this an elevator? Looking up, the upper slab had already closed after the movement. After a while, the slab also stopped. Qunfeng sighed in relief and said, "We finally arrived. It feels like we went down 300 or 400 meters. Then he looked around, suspecting this was a hidden maze inside the sacred temple. In the ruins, there is a certain chance a hidden maze might appear. In his past life, he had already explored many. Inside the maze, there are countless traps, but as long as there's someone to act as a human shield, exploring isn't that dangerous. It just takes a lot of time." He took out a pendant and continued, "With the current attributes, once those mechanisms are triggered, I fear there will only be a path to death. Golden Devotee Pendant Assassin Class Accessory. Skill cooldown speed 20%. Requires level 80 to equip. Unique special effect summons a silver rank fervent devotee to fight for you. Cooldown 60 seconds." After reading all the information, Qunfeng said, "Well, at least this little toy just dropped." Then he summoned the silver rank loyal devotee, who appeared immediately, just like the one outside. Qunfeng ordered him to move forward and explore the path. The devotee responded with an kahao sound, accepting the command and started walking forward. Seeing that it was obediently following orders, Qunfeng commented, "Having a subordinate explore the path like this is really convenient, but there's still a chance of running into danger. For greater safety, it's best to evolve the passive evasion skill. You have consumed 1 evolution stone. Remaining evolution points 24. Phantom Shadow Gold rank passive assassin skill. Grants a 15 to 70% chance of evasion. When triggered, evasion can make you immune to all types of damage." Tianfeng, upon seeing this, said, "75% evasion chance is already pretty high. I still have some points left, just enough to evolve Shadow Shield / to Executor rank." He then proceeded to level up the skill. You have consumed 13 evolution points. Remaining pleasant. Shadow Shield / Diamond rank Executor level. Performs a series of slashes in one direction up to 27 to 30 meters away, entering an invisible state for 9 to 12 seconds. Hits 7 to 9 times all enemies in the path. Cooldown 12 seconds. Remain ace / 4 to 5 meters. Each adds 300 to 500 attack power. Tianfeng reflected, to evolve a skill from Executor to Legendary rank, it takes 10 times more points. Therefore, the higher the initial rank of a skill, the more evolution points you save. For example, if a skill starts at Executor rank and is evolved to Legendary, that would be its first evolution and would only need 1 base point, but since the new target rank is Legendary, it will need 10 times more. 10 points. In other words, if I have an Executor rank skill, I can evolve it quickly to Legendary, Mythical, or even Ancient or Immortal. But if a normal skill has to first evolve to Executor, it needs to evolve at least 7 times. and by then it will cost hundreds of points just to multiply by 10. Still, I have one advantage. I can evolve any skill at any level to executor rank at a very low cost. In other words, from now on, all my skills will be at least executor rank. I now have only 11 evolution points left, so I can only evolve some basic skills like Shadow Stealth. You have consumed 3 more evolution points. Remaining points 3. Basic skill Shadow Stealth, Silver Gold Platinum rank. Effector invisibility stay for 16, 20, or 24 seconds. Shadow Break attack increases by 90-150 damage, 26-20 seconds. After completing the upgrade, Tianfeng commented, with a 35% cooldown reduction, the final cooldown time for Shadow Stealth is 16.3 seconds. That's still too long. Also, the Shadow Break damage is still somewhat low. When I get back, I'll have to upgrade it again. Just then, the loyal devotee stepped on a trap. Immediately, a massive rock fell exactly where the devotee had been standing. Seeing this, Tianfeng said, "The summon has died. I'll wait for the cooldown to summon a new one." This labyrinth is complicated and full of dangers. It can only be explored bit by bit. With some luck, I might find a valuable item. At that moment, in the upper level of the sacred temple, the group that had been killed returned. One of them told the red-haired girl, "The captain has confirmed it. Those 2 monsters have really disappeared." The red-haired girl, somewhat surprised, responded, "What? Our lifespan disappeared too? That could only mean someone killed those monsters and took our longevity. But who could do that at this stage? The only one capable of killing 2 silver-ranked bosses that fast can only be the Shadow Grandmaster. The Shadow Grandmaster actually came here. In that case, our stolen longevity was probably absorbed by him too. Seems like it, but thinking about it, that's not so bad. At least we don't have to die again." The red-haired girl touched her chin thoughtfully. "When we arrived, I saw a human figure. It looked like he was communicating with a monster. That person was at the Shadow. What kind of skill does he have that he can even charm a boss? His strength is truly unfathomable. Truly terrifying." Meanwhile, below, Tianfeng summoned another loyal devotee, but this one was also instantly eliminated. Seeing this, he said, "After 3 hours of exploring, this is probably the endpoint of the labyrinth. Based on my past life's experience, if you use a crowd of people as sacrifice, dozens or even hundreds will surely die." Shortly after, he summoned another loyal devotee and once again sent it to explore the path. Upon reaching a door, Tianfeng ordered it to open it. The loyal devotee obeyed instantly and tried using force to open it, but no matter how much he tried, the door didn't budge. Tianfeng thought, "It won't open, how strange." Then he stepped forward himself and placed his hand on the door. Suddenly it opened, leaving him confused. From inside the door, cold air began to flow out. Tianfeng started to sweat nervously. What appeared before him was a girl and a treasure chest. Tianfeng, seeing this, thought, "The chest is covered in thorns and has a lock, plus there's an NPC next to it." The system displayed the girl's information. All of it was question marks. Tianfeng thought again. All the information is question marks. This is the first time I've encountered such a mysterious NPC. Suddenly, the NPC made unintelligible sounds, then knelt and disappeared. Tianfeng, not understanding what had just happened, asked himself, "What was that?" She disappeared, and the thorns on the treasure chest also vanished along with her. Although I couldn't see any information about that mysterious woman, I think it has something to do with the Eye of Judgment. Looking at the treasure chest in front of him, Tianfeng said, "This chest emits a bright light, which means it might contain executor-level items. Still, I must be careful. There's always a chance a chest guardian monster might appear, or it could be protected by traps." He then ordered his loyal devotee, "Go and open the treasure chest." The loyal devotee roared and obeyed. The chest lid opened, and from inside came an intense golden light. Tianfeng was pleasantly surprised. This is a skill book, a system skill for the assassin class that has both active and passive effects. Glowing brightly amidst ancient ruins, an epic skill book named Bestowal of Mercy reveals its deadly power. Its effects double the damage dealt to enemies' weak points. Fascinated, the white-haired masked figure watches as the passive ability expands the hitbox for enemy weak points. What truly captivates him, however, is the active skill called Slit Throat. Quickly calculating, he realizes a 300 damage attack would surge to 1200 with this technique. The effect delivers 300 damage per second over 3 seconds. While skills like Shadow Slash allow multiple strikes, Slit Throat triggers its effect only on the first hit. Evolving it to legendary status requires just 10 points. Pleased with his treasure, he thanks Little Black and decides to sell the remaining items to his group. He asks her to inform Wang Meng about the goods when they return to the city. Emerging on the horizon, the city reveals its towering central spire and triangular, roofed architecture. A clear blue sky dotted with soft clouds frames the scene. Upon arriving, he carefully observes the bustling urban landscape, murmuring. He recognizes something significant among the city's buildings. Suddenly, frenzied fans shout, "Shadow is here!" A young man begs to be added as a friend, while a businessman from Jianghai City invites him to join his corporation. Growing larger, the crowd includes people from places like Underwear Town and Azure Wave. One desperate man even offers his wife in his fervor. Amid the chaos, he notices teleportation portals from other cities activating. Seeing an opportunity, he decides it's the perfect moment to visit Songfei in Firefly Town. A mysterious blue light flares where the protagonist stood. The crowd gasps in shock as someone yells, "He disappeared!" After his sudden vanishing. Enraged, the mob begins arguing fiercely. Accusations fly from all sides as some blame others for overwhelming the expert. Elsewhere, a red-haired young woman wielding a magical staff recognizes the masked figure. Calling him expert, she is warmly greeted as Little Black. Thrilled by the legendary visitor's arrival, she announces loudly, "Captain, expert is here. A black-haired man turns swiftly, startled by the news. Zooming in, the camera reveals his piercing eyes through the mask slits. A faint blue glow illuminates his surprised expression. Smiling sweetly, a black-haired girl in a purple hoodie catches the attention of two men. One of them asks, "Kun Xiaoyu," as if just recognizing her. Eyeing her suspiciously, he questions how she infiltrated Wang Meng's team. He warns that her presence could lead to the group's downfall. In a shadowy setting, a dark-haired young man reflects anxiously. "I must be cautious," he thinks. "The world now knows Shadow exists, and I can't reveal my true identity." Gazing at the legendary Shadow, Kun Xiaoyu marvels inwardly. So this is Shadow. She thinks his power is undeniable. Compared to him, Wang Meng's group is nothing. Presenting equipment and skill books to a spiky-haired man, he explains they cost 2,200 days of lifespan. Seeing concern, he offers, "Don't worry, you can pay me later." Grateful, Wang Meng looks at him and says, "Thank you, I don't know how to repay you for helping us like this." He promises, "If you need us in the future, just say the word, and we'll do our best." Overjoyed, the group celebrates. One member shouts, "Shadow is incredible, gold-level gear this early," while another exclaims, "This gold-level skill is unreal. My DPS just tripled." Curiously, a member asks, "Is there nothing for priests?" Kun Xiaoyu responds with a simple prompting a sharp remark, "If there's nothing, there's nothing. She's lucky to leech EXP from us." Approaching eagerly, Kun Xiaoyu says, "Hello, expert. I'm the priestess of Wang Meng's group. Got any gear for me?" A notification pops up. Player Little Graceful wants to add you as a friend. Dramatically, the camera zooms in on his partially visible face. Shrouded in dark shadows, blue light particles create a mysterious aura. Radiating from him is a sign of his immense power. Emerging from the ground, a shadowy portal glows with a blue center. Kun Xiaoyu and another member stare in awe, their faces reflecting the extraordinary event unfolding. Confused by his sudden disappearance, one member asks, "Where did he go?" Another speculates, "Maybe he didn't find priest gear this time," while Kun Xiaoyu mutters, "If he ignored her on purpose." Within the shadowy portal, his hooded silhouette glows with a blue aura. He reveals, "I actually have a gold-level priest staff and a gold-level priest skill book in my bag." Floating in the air, the priest staff with its sparkling blue gem, and the golden skill book with Asian characters shimmer in a magical aura. He questions himself, "But why would I give such treasures to Kun Xiaoyu?" Still cloaked in the portal's shadows, he strategizes, "As I progress, I'll have tons of unused gear and skill books. Selling them individually wastes time, but Wang Meng's ties to the authorities make him ideal for book deals." Focusing on a single eye through his mask slit, he resolves. That's it. He decides, "I need to find Little Shu quickly to replace Kun Xiaoyu with someone I trust." Embracing a glowing white bird, an elegant woman with long brown hair listens as he explains. Yu Yixiu, former manager of the Godslayer Guild in my past life, is a white avian priestess whose bird can heal and buff. Raising his hand toward a glowing blue portal of stone blocks, he recalls, "Now that I think about it, Little Shu is from Firefly Town just like Song Fei." He says, smiling, "This is perfect." Enveloped in the teleportation portal's blue aura, he plans his next move. "If I find Little Shu, I'll put her on Wang Meng's team," he thinks, as a notification reads, "Traveling to Firefly Town." Dissolving into the portal's intense blue light, his flowing cape merges with the magical energies. Arcane symbols on the stone blocks glow brighter during the teleportation process. Bathed in the orange glow of sunset, Firefly Town emerges with its ornate arches and windows. His silhouette, still tinged with blue teleportation energy, gazes at his new destination. Rushing through the streets, two warriors shout. One yells, "Hurry back. The silver boss is below half health," while the other fumes, "Damn Song Fei and his fangirls. Who can compete with that?" Smirking subtly, he murmurs, "I've already found clues about Song Fei." His partially visible face glows under the mask, lit by a dramatic light effect. Stretching beneath an orange sunset sky, a majestic canyon's golden rocky walls frame the path. A mysterious glowing silhouette stands out among the withered trees of the arid terrain. Announcing solemnly, a mysterious voice declares, "This is the level 5 area, Wailing Valley." It reveals that Emberfiends and shackled, dangerous creatures lurk among the valley's dead trees. Caught off guard, he faces a sudden attack. A furious voice shouts, "You dare attack me, die." As tension rises, and he prepares to counter the unknown assailant. Charging fiercely, a towering Emberfien with a flaming red body forces him to dodge swiftly. The fire monster slashes with blazing claws in the narrow canyon. Observing closely, he notes, the two-headed Emberfien is a silver-level boss. He analyzes the chaotic battle unfolding around him. As confusion engulfs the valley, he realizes so many players are attacking each other. Warriors clash in deadly combat, ignoring the monster's threat. Advancing together, a group of players follows a man with blonde hair and a red cape. Their determined expressions stand out amid the surrounding chaos. Wearing a crown on his forehead and a red cape, a blonde young man with piercing blue eyes appears. Someone exclaims in shock, "Song Fei." Charging angrily, a warrior shouts, "Damn you, Song Fei. You ambushed me and stole my lifespan last time. Today I'll kill you." Another threatens with his anti-mage skill, Lockjaw. Leaping to Song Fei's defense, a brown-haired girl yells, "Don't you dare hurt my appa." She strikes the attacker fiercely with her magical staff. Explaining calmly, he reveals, Song Fei, titled Heathen Deafing Mage God, is a mage. He describes how Song Fei tricked fans into picking mage classes and stole their gear to grow stronger quickly. Strategically, Song Fei's followers allocated their attribute points to complement the team. Some became glass cannon mages, others focused on perception or combat, forming a group that mastered stealing players' lifespan. Sanfei adopted a melancholic attitude to provoke the sympathy of his female fans. I know you are fighting hard. That breaks my heart. I only wish his boss would die quickly so that you can all rest. I wish this world were full of love instead of violence. The chubby mage, upon hearing this, became emotional. No, it's not hard at all, Brother Fei. It's you who suffers the most. You shouldn't have to endure all of this. Then she encouraged the others, sisters, let's go. Let's kill that disgusting thing. Let's not let him hurt our Brother Fei. The girls shouted with enthusiasm. We defeated the arrogant monster. Sanfei will be our king from now on. Only Sanfei will exist. Brother, rise slowly. We will always follow you. Suddenly, the boss launched a fireball towards Sanfei, but one of his fans ran to intercept it and protect him. He ducked, pretending to be concerned. My God, are you okay? Seeing that he worried about her like that, the girl didn't even care about herself and said, Brother Fei has always been like this. I'm crazy about you. Meanwhile, the chubby mage kept encouraging the others. Come on, sisters, we just need to kill this horrible monster. That way, Brother Fei can reach first place in the ranking. We must surpass that so-called shadow. The others also shouted, oh, let's break the sky, dominate the winds, and fight alongside Brother Fei. The magical bolts summoned by the mage fans hit the boss, who roared in pain. Sanfei, for his part, smiled inwardly. It's finally about to die. This silver rank boss is very difficult. How can a single player kill a gold boss? That idiot shadow must be cheating. I have a bunch of people helping me, and even so, I'm only at level 7. How the hell did that damn shadow level up so fast? By killing this silver boss, I can rate 8. That guy has been stuck at level 9 for so long. I'm gonna surpass him in one leap and become number 1, the god of this game. But suddenly Shadow appeared, grabbed Sanfei's head, and with a smooth movement, his head was separated from his body. With a calm voice, Shadow said, Shadow shield slash. Sanfei's head was still resting in his hand. Shadow squeezed it tightly, causing Sanfei's face to become completely deformed. But one of the mages, seeing this, turned around and screamed, Brother Fei. She only managed to say that because Ti and Feng passed through the mages again, cutting them into pieces. System, you have killed the two-headed split fire. You have gained 100 experience points. You have killed the player God Mage against the sky. You have killed the player Sanfei. You have killed the player Miao Mio. You have killed the player J forever with you. You have killed the player Little Fiwa. The damage numbers appeared on the screen. The other players were stunned. What, he killed the boss with one blow? A single skill and he caused thousands of points of damage. This is crazy. The strongest skill I have only does a little over 100 points. This guy does thousands. He's 10 times stronger than us. And besides, it was an area attack. He killed Sanfei and all his fans in an instant. Who is that killer? Isn't it Shadow? It must be the Great Master Shadow, the first to kill a gold rank boss. Everyone back off. Let the Great Master keep the loot. The Great Master Shadow has done us justice by eliminating that criminal Sanfei. Yes, the Great Master always at the top. Great Master. Great Master, I love you. Don't look anymore. Let's go. Shadow, upon hearing this, let out a cold snort. These people are only afraid that I'll attack them. If it were the me from my past life. They had already attacked me all at once in Firefly Village. Sanfei had revived, and right away the system popped up with a notification. You've been killed by the Shadow. You've lost 116 days of tradable longevity and 18 years and 113 days of non-tradable longevity. Sanfei was stunned. What? I'm dead. The Shadow killed me. Why the hell is he even in Firefly Village? There are hundreds of villages in Hyanai City. Why did he have to come here? And even steal the boss from me. Meanwhile, the mage fans had also revived. We're dead too. What just happened? Brother Fei is dead? It was the Shadow. But why would he kill all of us? It must have been to steal the silver boss. That bastard attacked Brother Fei while he was distracted. So shameless. Damn shrimp head. Then a green-haired girl walked up and asked shyly, Brother Fei, can I join your party? I'm a shooter, and I have a skill called Eagle Eye that can detect invisibility. But the mage fans immediately pointed at her in disgust. Get out of here. Brother Fei said we only need mages. Your monster killing speed is way too slow. You'll drag down Brother Fei's ranking. The girl looked shocked. Strange. But true his charming style, Sanfei stepped forward with a big smile, opened his arms, and said, Don't say that, dear ones. He gently took the girl's hand and said, I can feel your sincere love. The girl, touched by his sweet words, burst into tears. Brother Fei, I love you. Other fans rushed forward too, shouting, Brother Fei, I'm an assassin. I can stealth and turn their own tricks against them. Brother Fei, I've learned area control skills. I can freeze enemies for you. Sanfei was now fully radiating that classic charming villain aura. My dear family, we're a big community that loves and supports each other. Anyone who wants to join will always be welcome. Come, together we're unstoppable. The fans, overwhelmed with emotion, cried even harder. So warm. Following Brother Sanfei will never bring regrets. And then they started shouting passionately, That guy, the Shadow, only knows how to sneak attack. He has no martial honor. He dared to hurt our Brother Fei. He must pay for this. When we catch that Shadow, we'll let Brother Fei finish him off. For revenge, for break, for justice, for honor. Kill that Shadow dog. Nearby players overheard all this and were whispering, What's going on here? What's this little village trying to do now? Don't you know? That guy was killed by an outsider. Seriously, even with all those girls guarding him. Yeah, and guess who killed him? It was the Shadow. Do you realize what that means? The real Shadow. But going up against all these crazy fans, I think those girls have lost their minds. Meanwhile, after dropping all those sweet words to seduce his fans, Sanfei was secretly thrilled. With so many witnesses around, when I kill the Shadow, everyone will see that it doesn't matter how strong you are. If you're alone, you're nothing. Especially if you're just an assassin. How can some vulgar assassin compare to a noble mage like me? Meanwhile, somewhere else, Shadow was quietly using the greedy hand skill. System, you've obtained 16 evolution points, 2 7 days of tradable longevity, 6 silver level loots, and 1 gold level loot. Without wasting time, Shadow upgraded the skill. System, you've evolved the skill Blessing of Liberation. You consume 10 evolution points. You have 9 points remaining. Blessing of Liberation, Legendary Executioner level. Passive effect, weak point damage increased from fall 100% to 100%. Weak point targeting accuracy doubled. Active effect, the next attack applies a throat slash effect, dealing 150% of the original damage every second for 3 seconds. Then reduced to 22s, then 2s, and later 25s, 18s, and finally fuzz. Shadow thought to himself, my ability to target weak points just doubled. This means my chances of hitting enemies' weak spots are now twice as high. If we exaggerate a little more, half of the enemy's body could be considered a weak point. In that case, my Shadow Shield slash ability could almost always deal weak point damage. Plus, the damage from throat slash has increased, and its cooldown has been reduced from 30 to 25 seconds. I feel like with this, I could instantly take down even a gold rank boss using an executor level skill. One that, at first, didn't even require any evolution points. Now it can evolve up to legendary, but going from legendary to mythical takes a lot more. According to the system, evolving from legendary to mythical needs 200 points, and if I want to evolve Greedy Hand, which is currently at executor rank, I'll need 210 points. Once it reaches legendary, it'll take 340 points to evolve again. For now, I still have 9 evolution points left. Not much I can do with that. I better evolve Shadow Charge. System notification, you have consumed 8 evolution points. 1 point remaining. Shadow Charge is evolved from gold level to silver. Passive effect, when attacking from behind, the damage boost increases from 30% to 40%. Shadow let out a satisfied sigh. The silver boss, plus all those players who helped out, gave me over 100 days of negotiable longevity. What a great harvest. Time to head back to the city. But just then, from behind, an assassin appeared and launched a surprise attack. Tianfan glanced at her casually, then leaned slightly and dodged perfectly. The girl shouted, D-Shadow! She kept attacking, but every strike missed. Frustrated, she screamed, Why can't I hit him?